Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning to the folks in America. Good morning, everybody. Hit that like button as you guys come in, please. And thank you. Really appreciate you guys joining. I know it was impromptu. I just really wanted to talk about the trailer. I saw the trailer and I thought I need to get up here and talk to you guys about the trailer. So, yes, please hit that like button. Please share this video as well so other people can know that we are live. Hello, Bajan. Hello, my lovely. How are you? Thanks, everyone. Hit that like button as you come in. Please don't be stingy with the likes. It's been a while since I did an actual true live where I'm here and we can get to talk. I can get to read your comments and engage with you guys today. So, yeah, I'm really excited for today. Okay, when I tell you I saw that trailer and I was gagged, okay? Absolutely gagged. This was me as I watched the trailer of Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Hello.
And so, what I want to do today is share the trailer with you guys and play it, and we will get into it and break it down. So, first of all, just to manage your expectations, we might have to watch it a few times. So just putting that all out there in case I decide let's play and let's replay this again. But yeah, we will watch the trailer together. I will pause it in between and talk about it. Maybe I'll give it one time to watch the full thing. And then the next time we will pause and watch it together and I will break it down. So just putting that out there so that no one is complaining once I start to pause the video. All right. Also, I'm doing this under fair use, please. I don't want no drama with Bravo.
Coming up on the three-part Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion.
And that can be going.
Are we going naked?
We gonna be naked.
Drop it, drop it, drop it.
Now, what else is going on? Did I miss a lot?
KMichelle is a gay man. Drew's divorced. Phaedra and Porsha both dated Mike. What is your arrangement?
I'm not gonna let some strokes throw away what I have built.
Some strokes, baby. Yeah.
How is Sway?
I'm so in love right now.
Just when I thought the flag had flown. There is a discourse online you're not accepting of Tamari's lifestyle. So could you speak to that? Can you explain what the plot and the plan were?
It wasn't this.
I know who it is.
Drew, what was your reaction to that news about Black?
It's devastating because he is such a good guy.
That's why I didn't want a part of it. This the rich PayPal man. I never heard of a man being rich on PayPal.
Cut it out. You so invested on what's going on in my panties, girl.
I just got served with the cease and desist.
Speak up or pay up.
Cease and desist means shut up.
Pinky has never apologized to me.
Yeah, and I'm not going to. You judging me because I was drunk. I didn't judge you because you got a whole nother face and a whole nother body.
First of all, I got the same face and same body, girl.
You co-signed for the same person that got you fired on the show last time.
Do you want to name the pastor?
I'm not naming him. Are we talking about? Oh, you want to name people? Are we talking about?
Go ahead and name the
Are we
married
talking
man.
about? Because I'm exhausted with these lies.
Where do you two go from here?
To hell.
Oh, God.
All right.
Let's not go there. It's hot.
Cynthia, at what point did you decide you didn't like Shamea?
Oh, Lord.
I have lived. I have lived. And so has your body.
Okay.
Okay. Your glory hole.
The issue is you're being everybody's golden retriever, and I've had
you have
new
new
season. No one to sleep broke.
Oh,
Okay, shut up. You really trying to use this lady to come at me?
she's lying.
Either way, my mama don't be dancing in no hookah lounge. You're talking about hallelujah and calling her Jezebel.
Who is Jezebel? Who is Jezebel? Keep my mother and keep
My mama and my name out your motherfucking mouth.
All right. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That was something. Okay? Like I am gagged. Okay? This is me.
The tea is exceptionally good today.
That's what is given. The tea is exceptionally good today, and I cannot wait for the reunion. So, what we're going to do is now rewatch it, and I'm going to play the clip and I will be pausing it, and then we will break it down together. All right, hit that like button as you guys come in. I can see a bunch of people have just come in. Let's get those likes up. Let me see how many likes I actually have up in here because I can almost bet the likes are probably not matching the amount of people in here. So please hit that like button. Don't be stingy with the likes, honey. Do not be stingy with the likes. It's a good Sunday, you know. Do your sis a good favor, and yes, please. How can I have 4 likes, y'all? Please hit that like button, everybody. It is Sunday. Give me that free like today. Yes, please, and thank you. Okay. All right. On a more serious note, Bajan says the trailer looks better than the whole season. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Like, that is crazy. One second, guys. I don't have any mods today. Alrighty. Please, let's get those likes up because the likes are not matching the amount of people in here. All right, so I'm going to play this and let's get into it.
Coming up on the 3-part Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Are we going naked?
Oh, that is so cute. Andy looks like he is having a good time. Andy is activated this season, this episode, this reunion. Andy came ready for the reunion, honey. Whatever is in that cup, Andy came in ready. Okay?
Now what else is going on?
Okay.
Did I miss a lot?
I love the fact that they started the trailer with so much fun. Like, I feel like part of why I liked the first part of the season was because it was light, it was fun. I love seeing the girlies have fun. And I think that that is what I've been looking forward to and enjoying this season until it went straight to hell at the Scotland trip. But outside of that, this season has been actually pretty good. I would say it's definitely not the best season. It started off on a high note and then kind of went down with the plot and the scheme to come to us with the BS. But outside of that, I feel like it has been an okay season. Definitely better than the last one. I would say it's been good. I wouldn't say it's been great, but I think it's been good. Now, I do think that we will get an amazing reunion, a way better reunion. And so that's I cannot wait for. When I tell y'all, like, I am counting down in my diary, I'm counting down mentally for this new reunion to air because I'm ready for reunion part 1, honey. I am ready. The girls seem activated. No matter what, one thing I've noticed is Porsha will always bring it at a reunion, and I'm not surprised about that. And it sounds like KMichelle also brought it at the reunion. I think that Phaedra tried to get in there as well. As you know, Phaedra was not really... I don't know if it's like most of her scenes got cut, but I don't feel like we saw enough of Phaedra this season. And I don't know if it's because she doesn't really have much of a storyline going on, or I just don't know what it was. But personally, I'm like, whatever it is, Phaedra, next season, I need you to be activated from the start. And it sounds like Phaedra and Pinky will be going at it next season. So do not be surprised if we see a back and forth between Phaedra and Pinky next season, because that is what it is given, in my opinion. But let's watch.
KMichelle's a gay man. Drew's divorced. Phaedra and Porsha both dated Mike.
Oh my gosh. What? I cannot imagine Phaedra dating Mike. It really is giving Atlanta. Like, because seriously, can you guys put it in the chat? Can you see Phaedra dating Mike? Let me know. Put it in the chat, because I know I cannot see Phaedra dating Mike. I don't know what the hell is going on. Yep, I cannot see Phaedra dating Mike. So the fact that Porsha and Phaedra dated Mike, yeah, that gags me a little bit. Like, what the hell? Hey, Chanel, how are you? Happy Sunday. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I can't either. So yeah, Chanel agrees with me, because I really cannot imagine Phaedra dating Mike, like Big Mike. Really? Like, what would the appeal be to date somebody like Mike? And don't get me wrong, I know people think he's attractive. I personally don't really find him attractive. But either way, it's just like, I don't really understand what the appeal is to date Mike, for Phaedra to date Mike. Porsha, I can understand a little bit, but like Phaedra? Maybe Phaedra is low key like freaky, and and we just don't have that memo, and we see Phaedra in such a almost as such a wholesome woman when she's just as down as Porsha. I don't know. But I definitely cannot see Phaedra and Mike together at all. And I guess Phaedra doesn't mind swapping men with Porsha or what? Like, yeah, nah. I would like for that not to happen again.
What is your arrangement?
I'm not gonna let some strokes throw away what I have built. Not some strokes.
I will not let no strokes throw away what I've built. I have a feeling this is about the prenup. I wonder if she's trying to say, like, even though she doesn't have a prenup, she protects herself. So maybe does she have things in trust? Like, these are some of the questions I guess I have, because when you say you're not going to let some strokes get you, or are you talking about your husband? Maybe she's getting a post-nup. Do you think that KMichelle is going to get a post-nup? Maybe she's had some time to think about it, and now she's like, okay, I need to get a post-nup. Let me know, because I would think like of someone of her caliber, unless she doesn't have as much money and assets like she may come across as she does, then I would be quite surprised why she wouldn't do a prenup naturally anyway. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that KMichelle basically is planning to do a prenup, and that's why she said she's not going to let no strokes throw away what she's built? Let me know what you guys think about that.
Baby, yeah.
How is Sway?
I'm so in love right now. Like,
Just when I thought the flag had flown. There is.
Okay, so Porsha says she is in love with Sway. I'm not surprised. You can definitely see that Sway treats her well. And she has like a natural chemistry with Sway. So I am not surprised personally that she says she's in love with Sway. And besides, we know that Porsha moves very fast anyway. So it must have even taken her a lot to even get to this point, because she's just like, she's moved fast a lot. She's trying not to move fast moving forward in a lot of her relationships. And so I definitely think that, I definitely think like the whole Sway thing, I'm not surprised she's in love. I just hope Sway continues to treat her good. Because imagine how sad it would be, like, if things don't work out with them. Yeah, girl. Anyway, I hope it continues to work for now, at least.
There's a discourse online you're not accepting of Tamari's lifestyle. So could you speak to that? Can you explain what the plot and the plan were?
It wasn't them. I know.
So the plot and the plan wasn't them. So who was it? Am I the only one who believes that KMichelle is not going to make that plan and the plot make sense, even at the reunion? Let me put up a poll. Give me a second. Explain the plot at the reunion, because I feel like I just feel like I don't really believe that there was a true plot or a scheme. I think she was listening to people saying whatever they were saying. Guys, I just put up a poll in the chat about KMichelle and the plot. Please vote and let me know what you guys think by just voting in the chat. I personally don't think that she will clarify the plot. I think that deep down, I think it's a load of crap, if you ask me. I think it's a load of crap. I think deep down, KMichelle probably heard someone say something secretly and then thought, do you know what, I'm just going to make it into a plot and a scheme, when in reality, there's no plot and a scheme. I think KMichelle has this thing where she tries to like take the attention however she can. I'm sure she was listening to outside influence. I think part of the outside influence is probably Shamea, because if you think back to what Shamea then ended up saying, it's no surprise there, in my opinion. And so yeah, that's what I think. I definitely think, yeah, there's definitely there's I don't think KMichelle is going to make it make sense. Let's just put it that way. I don't think she will make it make sense at all. At all. I don't believe that for a second. Like, let me know if you all believe it, but I do not believe that for a second at all. Okay, let's keep going.
Drew, what was your reaction to that news about Black?
It's devastating because he is such a good guy.
That's why I didn't want a part of it. This the rich PayPal man. I never heard of a man being rich on PayPal.
Cut.
Oh,
Cut it out. You so invested.
Drew said, cut it out. Okay, so Drew and KMichelle are going to be going at it. I definitely don't see what the Drew versus KMichelle beef is about. I don't think KMichelle has made it make sense. I actually don't think that Drew has an issue with KMichelle. I think KMichelle came in wanting an issue with Drew. I think she wanted to go for who she believed was the low-hanging fruit. And then that's exactly what she did. I don't believe for a second that there is any real true beef there. It's the same way I think she tried to come at Porsha, but Porsha did not give her the opportunity during the season by the fact that Porsha apologized, and then that was the end of it. So I do think that deep down, she was probably expecting Porsha to like go at her, and then that would be a whole moment. But then that didn't happen. So that's personally what I think anyway. But you lot, let me know what you guys think. Also, don't forget to vote in the chat if you haven't. Also, please keep hitting that like button, everybody. We're getting those likes up. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, thank you very much. All right, let's keep going.
That's not what's going on in my panties, girl.
I just got served with the cease and desist.
Speak up or pay up.
Cease and desist means shut up.
Pinky has never apologized to me.
Yeah, and I'm not going to.
Girl. Pinky said she is not apologizing, okay? She is not apologizing. Are you all shocked about that?
Hold on.
Like, why are you going to say she eats dead people, right? You said she was the one that said you eat meat when she wasn't the one that said you eat meat. So it's like, why not just apologize and own it? Like, that's what I don't understand. And I feel like sometimes I hear it with some of these housewives, but like when it is so obvious that there is no need for things to go to that extent, there's no need for it to go that left field. Phaedra has not done anything to you that is that deep, and you haven't done anything to her that is that deep. So if she was offended by you lying on her because of something Shamea said to you, then why not just own it and apologize? Girl, I did not know that that's how it was said. I own that. I should have asked you first before I started saying what I said. The end. But then to clap back at her is just wild and saying you're not going to apologize. I low-key think Pinky wants to have... Pinky knows, like, let's be honest, sitting at the far end lets you know how much or what your position has been this season. And so I think deep down, she knows that she has not been as instrumental, at least, in getting into it with the girls. Now, do I think that she's had a really good storyline? And do I think that she's coming back next season? Absolutely, yes. But this would have been the perfect opportunity for her to just own it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I own it. Do you know what? I shouldn't have. Even if you don't want to say I'm so sorry, just say, girl, I was wrong. I was wrong. I didn't realize that this was what was happening. The end. Bajan says Mr. Clean was winning me over, but now she can go. Absolutely. It's like, to be honest, I still want her to stay. And I say the reason I want her to stay is because I think she would give us a storyline. The rest of the girls did not really give us much of a storyline this season. I think Porsha had a storyline this season. Pinky did. Shamea a little bit, although it wasn't fleshed out enough for us. I do think that a part of me feels like it is the editors of Real Housewives of Atlanta that dropped the ball a little bit this season. I think that they dropped the ball. I feel like the way they went about certain things, I think is just so obvious that they were doing too much. I think they were cutting out a lot of things that they should have kept in, right? I think they cut out a lot of those storylines that they should have kept in, and then kept a lot of like the girls hanging out. And I'm like, it's Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to see some storylines, and then I want to see the girls hanging out. This season feels like a season of them hanging out, but not enough of their individual stories being fleshed out. And so we cannot see enough of these individual folks to be able to feel relatable or feel some sense of, okay, this person isn't too bad, this is that. I don't think that we were able to get that at all this season. And so that would be my feeling about the way the storyline has played out. I really, really do hope, fingers crossed, I really do hope that this next season they give us more storylines. And if the people don't have much of a storyline, maybe make them a friend of the show. Unless they are people that bring like the really like comic relief. If not, then what are we doing here, right? Guys, please hit that like button as you guys come in. Let's get those likes to match the amount of people in here. It really helps push the content out. So yeah, please, let's get those likes up. Don't be stingy with the likes. Okay. Alrighty. So let me play this. Let me continue playing this.
Judging me because I was drunk. I didn't judge you because you got a whole nother face and a whole nother body.
Do you guys think that Phaedra has a whole nother face and a whole nother body? Please put it in the chat. Let me see what y'all are saying about the poll that I've put up. And then we gonna talk about a whole nother face and a whole lot of body, a whole new body. So do you guys think KMichelle will clarify the plot at the reunion? I asked you guys. Nobody said yes. Not a soul said yes. Not a soul said yes. That is crazy. Y'all don't even believe KMichelle, honey. You lot are not falling for it. And then 57% of you guys said, I doubt it. 43% of you guys said no. So either way, you guys do not believe she will clarify the plot at the reunion. And I completely agree. I definitely think you guys are right on that. You're right on the money on that when it comes to this whole thing with KMichelle. I definitely feel that way. Now, I do want to put up another poll about Phaedra. Do you think Phaedra has a new body and new face? Yes, no. It's just makeup. Alrighty. I just put another poll up. You guys, please vote. That helps in terms of engagement. I also want to know what you guys think. So please vote. Let me know what you guys think. Also, guys, there's like 30 something people in the chat. And then there is like, what, how many likes? Let me see. There's like 11 likes. Please, let's hit those likes. Let's get those likes up. Please and thank you. Okay. Let's get those likes up to 38 likes, please. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Bajan says, I hope they roll the clip on Shamea saying Pinky eats meat. Yeah, I really hope they do as well. And I actually do think that, I genuinely think that Shamea is messy. And I think the way Shamea would normally carry the bone, she never carries the bone correctly. And I think this is just a perfect example of that. Phaedra said she used to own a restaurant and she served meat. She took it back as Pinky eats meat, when that's not what was said, right? And then to then own it and let's move on, that should have been the end of it. And Pinky has already seen the clip anyway, right? Let's be honest. Pinky saw the clip on the internet like the rest of us, or watched it herself. Because then I remember she talks about it in an interview, but the way she played it down, because you can tell she's friends with Shamea and Kelly and them lot, she just played it down. But it's like, let it be someone else. They would have been called all types of liars, right? And so I definitely think I low-key think she's just trying to have some sort of beef with Phaedra for just to be relevant. I think that is all it is. But you don't have to do that. You can be the one that brings the storyline. And think about it. That's why I feel like Pinky's definitely getting calls for the next season. She probably has already gotten her contract in the mail. Because let's be honest, she out of everyone had a very more fleshed out storyline. And so she's definitely coming back, in my opinion. Bajan says, I want to know what happened at the Waldorf. Now, I don't believe that we're going to see that at the reunion. I may be wrong, but I genuinely don't believe we're going to see that at the reunion. I think that KMichelle said this afterwards to let her know that play with me if you want to. But I definitely do not think that they're really going to go into it at the reunion. I personally don't. I don't. Also, I put a poll in the chat. I asked you guys, do you guys think Phaedra has a new body and a new face? Just as Pinky has just said. Do you guys think there's a new face, a new body? Let me know. Okay, guys, there's like 40-something people in the chat, and we only have 12 likes. Please, let's get those likes up. Okay, I can see it's increased to 16. So please, let's get those likes up. 1 second. I'm also trying to be my own mod at the same time. It's not easy. Not easy at all. Also, please let me know if you want to be a mod. It's a free job. You guys just help with like managing the comments, letting people know to like and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to be a mod as a way to support the channel, please let me know and I will make you a mod, because at the moment I am doing it myself. Okay, so yes, so 16 likes and 43 people. Well, it's now 47 in the chat. So please, let's hit that like button, everybody. Please and thank you. Alrighty, let's keep going.
I got the same face and same body, girl.
So Phaedra says she has the same face and same body. Now, I think Phaedra has the same face. I think Phaedra has the same face. And the reason I say that is because makeup can do a lot. And I don't think people really understand how much makeup can do a lot for you. You may look a certain way. Once you get good glam team, get your makeup done, get hair that suits and frames your face, right? Think about it. The hair that Phaedra used to do back in the day is so different, right? I personally think that the way she used to look, right? Her hair was different. The makeup was done a certain way. Now, the makeup is different. Like if I go online and look at a picture of Phaedra right now, and you look at some of the old photos, you see that back then the glam was just not the same, right? And also bear in mind that at the time we saw her, she was like pregnant and then had a baby and stuff. So of course she's going to have a bit of like weight on the face and all of that, which will naturally come out after you have the kid, right? And so I actually don't think she looks that different personally. She's had kids, right? I think she has new glam as well. I think that, and then she lost weight. So it's like all things together. If anything, maybe her boobs may have been done, but I think overall, I don't think she has a new face or new body. Let me see what you guys are saying. Bajan says Mr. Clean was reaching. She's not good at reading people. Yes, she is not. Absolutely not. You can tell. She just ain't it. She does not know how to read people. I think they came in with preconceived notions. And when I say they, I mean KMichelle, Pinky, they both came in, they both joined with preconceived notions. I would not be surprised if there was some sort of meeting, first of all, when they started out. I would not be surprised about that at all. ZZS, hello. Welcome to the live. Thanks for joining in. Because she does. I was just binge watching season 7 and it's the same. Okay, so do you think when you say it's the same, are you talking about Phaedra? Are you saying Phaedra looks the same? as what she's looked like? Do you think she got her face and body done, or do you think she's the exact same person? Let me know. Just want to clarify that feedback. Okay, she's older as well, has 2 kids. Yes, exactly. She's older, she's had 2 kids. Of course, she's going to look a little different, right? Plus, she was pregnant at the time, so she definitely looks different, right? Slightly, but it's the wig, it's the fashions, all of those things. So thanks for clarifying, ZZS. She says her body is the same, a little nip here and there. Exactly, I agree. I think she probably maybe did a little bit to her belly or something to keep that belly on flat, lost some weight, and then maybe did her boobs or whatever. But I don't think overall, I don't think it was like a build a body where she tweaked everything. I don't for a second believe that. But y'all let me know. Bashan says, I think the only thing Phaedra has done has been to lighten her skin. You think she's lightened her skin? Does anyone agree with that? Does anyone else think Phaedra has lightened her skin? I'm not sure, you know. I do think that it's the colors that she's been choosing. Blonde has a way of like making you look lighter than you are. And I think so there's an element of that. And I think also maybe she treated, you know how sometimes people are like, oh, I treated the pigmentation and all of that. So maybe she did that. And maybe that's what we are referring, or that's what we are seeing. But I don't necessarily know whether she lightened her skin personally. ZZS says camera lighting can be tricky as well. I'm hoping she has not done that. Yeah, I think so too. Because sometimes, even like when we see some of the camera lighting, we think, oh, these people don't even look like their shade. And then we see them in different lights. And then we're like, oh, they look all right. Like they look different, but you know, in a different light. So I do think it could also be light. So you may be right about that as well. All right, let me see what the poll is how the poll is doing, and then we are going to end the poll. So if you want to vote in the poll, now is the time, guys. Now is the time. All right, so I asked you guys, do you think Phaedra has a new body and a new face? 20% of you guys said yes. 60% of you guys said no. 20% said it's just makeup. So it seems like most people think that she hasn't really tweaked a lot of stuff when it comes to her looks. I do low-key wonder whether Pinky was holding on to that reed in the chamber, so to speak. She was keeping that for a day like that, because that's a very, very specific thing to say. And I don't just think that that is landing well. If someone said that about me, I would say, well, that does not apply, but maybe you need to tweak some things. But anyway. All right. Let us move on. Guys, hit that like button if you have not already, please, and thank you.
Same person that got you fired on the show last time.
Oh, so that means she's referring to Phaedra. So Phaedra co-signed what Porsha said about Kelly. And so Kelly is like, yeah, the same person that got you fired the last time. Yo, I believe Porsha and Phaedra on this one. I feel like, look at the way that Phaedra has been moving this season. Phaedra is not trying to get fired again. I don't think for a second that Phaedra will involve herself knowing fully well that it is a lie. I don't believe that for a second. I think they're just holding one in the chamber just in case. I don't believe it at all. That is just where I personally stand. I think that there is some truth to it. I feel like the way Kelly has moved gives me the impression that there's some truth to it. Because if you felt like someone lied on you like that, then why are you trying to squash things with them? It's given, you don't know what they know. You don't know whether or not they have proof. And now you're a little bit scared. That's my opinion. Now, you guys are allowed to disagree. And if you disagree, let me know in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Also, I'm going to put a link in the chat for anyone who wants to join and give their feedback once I finish going through the trailer. But I'm just going to put it up so that if anyone wants to join, you can just click on the link and come up. All right. Kelly is ridiculous. She was not around then and does not understand that situation at all. She doesn't. But yet she will use that to her advantage because she just has to, right? Like, it's easier to rely on the fact that they were caught in such a huge atrocity or lie or whatever, and use that as an excuse to say, oh, well, they're lying this time around, right? And so I definitely think that Kelly's just playing into that. Kelly knows what it is. She's just playing into that. I personally wish that Porsha came with receipts. She really should have come with receipts. F everything, bring those receipts. I'm sure that is because of the family involved. That's why she's not doing it. But the home is clearly not happy. Empty the clip. Right? That's what I think. But let me know what you guys think.
Do you want to name the pastor?
I'm not naming him. Are we talking about? Oh, you want to name?
And this is why it sounds weird. Now she's naming names. If it's so untrue, why are you naming names? Madam, why are you naming names? Why? ZZS says, but Phaedra wasn't fired though. The network loved and loves Phaedra. Yes, the network loves and loved Phaedra, but then in the whole Phaedra and Candy thing, Candy said she's not going to film whilst Phaedra is there, and they chose Candy over Phaedra. So that's what I mean in relation to that. Okay.
People. Are we talking about? Go ahead and name the married man. Because I'm exhausted with these lies.
Porsha said, go ahead and name that married man.
Where do you two go from here?
To hell.
Oh, God.
All right.
Oh, looks like Kelly did not like that, honey. Kelly did not like that. Kelly low-key wants to be friends with Porsha. I say this and I'm standing by it. Kelly wants to be friends with Porsha. However, she's too far gone with Shamea and she knows that it's not going to happen. I personally think Kelly wants to be friends with Porsha. Remember how she squashed things with Porsha and then all of a sudden she's asking if Porsha wants a third in their relationship. I'm like, girl, didn't you say you don't like girls? All of a sudden you want to be a third in their relationship? Now, she said it jokingly, fine. But then you said you didn't want no piece of the platinum puss. Okay. All right. That wasn't a firing, so Kelly was still wrong. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. ZZS said, yes, I've been saying this. Kelly is desperate for a friendship with Porsha. Yes. Imagine, Porsha said, where is it going from? To hell? Look at Kelly. Why are you sad? You low-key want to be friends with Porsha. And it's like, girl, that girl does not want to be friends with you. Like, I don't understand. How hard is that? That girl does not want to be friends with you, and I can understand. So she's like, it's going to hell from here. From here on out, it is going to hell. And that's on period.
Let's not go there. It's hot.
Phaedra said, let's not go there. It's hot. I guess that's what Phaedra brings to the show, the comic relief, right?
Cynthia, at what point did you decide you didn't like Shamea?
That question is so messy. That question is so messy. I feel like I think Cynthia just got tired of Shamea. I think there comes a time where you're writing for someone and you just get to the point where you are just so tired. You're just like, I ain't got it. I don't have the time, the energy, the strength to deal with you. And so I low-key feel like that's where Cynthia got to. I think Cynthia tried to extend that olive branch when she went over to the house to talk to Shamea, tell her about getting help. And she didn't want to get no help. And so I think Cynthia was just like, well, if you don't want to get no help, there's nothing I can do to help you. And so that's just that, right? Guys, hit that like button, please. There's 50 people in the chat and we only have 19 likes. So that is not good. Let's get those likes up, please. And thank you. Okay. Alrighty. So I personally just feel like the way That question is messy, in my opinion. I feel like Cynthia is just tired of Shamea. I think Cynthia has had it with Shamea. Shamea has done too much, and Cynthia is just like, hold on one second, guys. Sorry. I think Cynthia is just tired. She has had enough of Shamea, and I can understand. Shamea can be a bit exhausting. Like I can imagine being around Shamea after a while can start to get a bit exhausting. I'm not going to lie. So, but yeah, but fair enough. Let's see what Cynthia had to say. Tinted S said, I wish Porsha had ignored both Kelly and Shamea this season. Neither of them deserve to be on a set with Porsha. I completely agree. But then I think she also had to do her job, because I think if she had continued to ignore them, production would have said, like, girl, you best, granted, you want to be above it all and you want to be above the mess. I fly above. You want to be flying above it all, right? I understand that. However, if the girls bring it to you, you have a job to do. And so I feel like that is what was happening here. It's like she took the high road, but then if anyone wants to take it to hell, you have to be right there ready to take it to hell as well. And so I think that's, as much as I would have loved for Porsha to pay them dust, at the end of the day, I feel like there's no way that someone could bring that level of venom towards another person and the person would not have like been like, yeah, nah, that's enough. That is enough. So she got to do her job. Badron says, but Hobbit got her bestie. So what she's saying, so what? She's saying she don't want to be bestie with Shemessi. Girl, being bestie with Shemessi must be exhausting. I'm not gonna lie. It'll be fun. However, it can be a lot because that lady requires a lot, in my opinion. And so I would not be surprised. I think part of it is this. I think Porsha has a charismatic personality. She has the personality that even the girls that hate her want to be around her. And I think that's what it is. I think that Kelly and Shamea, think about it. Shamea was so upset that Kelly and Porsha made up, because all of a sudden people are talking about, they're talking, they're bantering, they're laughing together. Kelly could not stand that. Sorry, Shamea could not stand that. And I think that's the nature of what happens when you are around someone that is charismatic. They walk in the room, everyone like focuses on them. The energy changes, they bring the energy into the room. And I think that is really what it is. I think at the core of it all, Kelly and Shamea do not want to lose access to Porsha. That is it, right? Even if they're not, like, think about it. Every time someone gives Porsha a compliment, you can see them looking around, like, rolling their eyes, doing all those things. And I'm like, why are you rolling your eyes? Why? Right? What are we doing? Right? Why are you rolling your eyes? What is the need? Why is that really necessary? Right? And so I definitely think that there is something there when it comes to Shamea and Kelly. They just want to be up under Porsha. If they had the opportunity, Porsha said, you know what, enough is enough. Let's the way both of them will be up under her and be her lapdog would be hilarious to watch. But anyway. ZZS said, I love that Andy asked Cynthia that question. No flip-flopping. Okay, all right. It's interesting to have a different perspective on that. Guys, thank you so much. I'm loving the engagement. Thank you so much, everyone. Continue to leave comments and leave, I think it's comments. What do you say? Comments in the live chat, honey. Thank you so much. Also, thank you, everyone, for joining. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, thank you, for anyone who wants to give gifts or super chats or PayPal. I really appreciate, going the extra mile as well. So thank you, everyone. Alrighty. So ZZS said Porsha could have focused on other things too, but I agree she had to do her job to some extent. Absolutely. I think there comes a time where, yes, you want to take the high road, but if you take the high road too much, you will not have a job. You will not have a job. And so I think that with Porsha, Porsha is like, I'm not starting anything. But if you start it with me, then we'll go there because I need this job at the end of the day. Which she does. If she wants to keep that house, especially because people like Simon and Co would love for her to lose that house, right? And so she wants to keep that house and continue to let things be running over at the house. She definitely needs money, and she needs that Real Housewives of Atlanta check. So there is that. Good morning, my lovely. How are you? Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a good weekend. Thanks for joining in. Diane says, Shamea just doesn't know when to stop. Ooh, can I pin this? You hit the nail on the head. You hit it on the head, honey. She just doesn't know when to stop. It's like, girl, you do too much. And so I completely agree with that. ZZS says, Shamea has insecurities from far back and never went to therapy for it. This is why she easily backstabs, lies, etc. to women she deems more pretty, and so on. Oh, you guys are clocking Shamea today, honey. And to be honest, no one can say I paid you all, because some people have been saying like maybe the ops have been paying me to come at Shamea. Now nobody can say that, because look at the comments. I did not pay no one. You know, so yeah, I agree. I think that, and people may not like what I'm about to say, but I think so. I think that she may have grown up for a long time where people refer or see Porsha as the conventionally attractive girl, while she was seen more as the darker friend who they felt was not as attractive, right? Or, you know, people would say things like, oh, you're so pretty to be a dark-skinned babe, or like, you're so pretty for a dark-skinned girl, all those kind of like things that have like colorist undertones. I won't be surprised if she grew up with people saying stuff like that, and she internalized that, never worked through those issues, and then those issues are now rearing their ugly head later in life. I do think she has a lot she needs to work on. I think that she molds herself after the image of whoever it is that she is around. I think that I actually think, when I think about the way she moves and the way her mom moves as well, I think there's definitely something around that as well. And so even though I know people are saying like they feel like the fans are colorist, I don't think that's what's happening here. I think that she grew up feeling like she was inadequate, probably because of external people saying things along those lines about her, or referring to her a certain way because she is of a darker hue than others, things like that. Now, guys, let's get those likes up. Y'all are a bit stingy with the likes. Please hit that like button, everybody. Thank you. It's a free way to support the channel. Please and thank you. Let's get those likes up to 60 likes, please. So you can definitely feel the insecurity. Let's be honest. Why else would everyone is getting ready to go to dinner? You come out in a bikini, a thong bikini, and you walk around and you want to have a serious conversation in a thong bikini. Be for real. That is someone who probably grew up not getting the attention that she felt like she deserved. And it's almost like being around someone, right? Maybe Porsha or whoever it is she was friends with at the time. But that person was always getting the attention, but she wasn't. She was the one that wasn't getting the attention. She moves like someone who has been starved of attention all her life. And this is why people say things like, remember the scene with her attorney? Look at how she was dressed. And then she got up, took off the outfit, tilted to the side a little bit so we can see the booty. And it's like, girl, what are we doing? Right? And so I personally just think that all of those insecurities, she probably was friends with, maybe, if not Porsha, she may have been friends with someone who was conventionally attractive. while she wasn't the so-called attractive one, and then she internalized that, I would not be surprised, because there is so much deep-rooted insecurities when it comes to that, and the need to fish for attention at all costs. If you are someone who is stable and who is not starved of attention, when you are around people, right? When you're around people who are attractive and other people are giving them compliments, it's not going to be hurting you that much. Did you see every time Porsha is given a compliment by people, I look straight at Shamea's face and she always has a staying face on. Always. And I'm just like, girl, why? Why do you have a staying face on? What is going on? Right? It's definitely obvious that something ain't right. And so I definitely wish that she will get off the show and get the help that she desperately needs. Because the problem with her also is a lack of accountability. She cannot look at herself and see where she went wrong. Everything is some other person's fault. Not to say other people may not have a part to play, but what did you do? Let's focus on what you did. You can change what you did. But I think that's where the problem lies. Let me see what you guys are saying about that. I want to make sure I'm not missing comments, but there are a few comments. So yes, feel free to super chat so that brings it up to the top. I'm going to try and make sure I don't miss comments. All right. Diane says the girls want to move forward with Shamea, but Shamea keeps taking shots at the girls. Yes, she does way too many interviews. She cannot remember what she's saying in these interviews, which is why she gets caught up in all these lies pretty easily. It's like, girl, all of that is not necessary, right? Like, you need to, if you're going to be on a show like this, you need to know how to play nice. You need to know how to move the storyline along. You need to know, okay, fine, we've been in this situation for too long. Let's move on. Let's tweak things. Let's jump around. Let's do other things, right? You cannot stay in the same spot. You need to be able to pivot. And I just think she doesn't know when to pivot, and that's what her problem is. Bajan says, after Dungeon Gates, the next season, Porsha was literally frozen out. She put on her big girl panties and dealt with it. Look at how the Hobbit came for her when Porsha walked out. Exactly. And that is the thing. It's obvious that, like, when you are resilient, no matter what comes at you, you are able to, like, push through. You're just like, do you know what? Let me focus on why I'm here. I'm going to push through. She pushed through and kept it moving. And I feel like for a lot of these people, I don't think the resilience is there. They don't have that resilience. There ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing there at all. Absolutely not. But anyway. No, Shamea has pure hatred in her heart for Porsha. Now, sis, I agree with you. I don't know if you saw one of my videos where I said Shamea hates Porsha. That was literally the title of the video. And the reason I titled it that way is because Shamea hates Porsha, but she wants access to Porsha. She does not want to lose access to Porsha, but she hates the girl. She knows that being around Porsha gives her, it's like when you're best friends with someone that is charismatic, someone that is charming, you get access to other people. People see you, you know, everyone sees you as a fun duo. You don't have to, like, do too much. It's like she carries you. And I think that's what it is. I think that she deeply hates her. She deeply has serious resentment towards her. However, it's like she really has those deep-rooted issues and resentment. Agreed, not taking that away from her. But she also wants to be around her. So every time someone gets to be around her, like Kelly, the moment you saw her and Kelly were getting on, and Kelly and her were cool and laughing, she became like a scorpion trying to bite, trying to sting. And so I definitely think that she has pure hatred for Porsha. I completely agree. Pure hatred and resentment. Deep, instilled, rooted in resentment. I don't even think she knows the gravity of what she has going on in her heart towards Porsha. I don't believe it for a second that she does. But I do hope that she gets the help that she needs, because it's not normal. It's not normal. It's too much. Super says Shamea's mother has instilled a mean spirit in her and that she's better. Agreed. You can see it from a mile away. You can absolutely see it from a mile away. The moment a mother is getting involved in these sorts of things, you know the mom is also up to no good. The moment the mom can play in our faces and talk about, oh, Mama Diane is so lovely and she will always be my best friend, but then deep down you feel like she tried to sleep with your man, and that's the reason that you guys are not friends, but you're saying this person will always be your friend. That's mean-spirited, that's evil, that's resentful. But then you are in this lady's face playing and acting like you guys are cool, whilst then telling your daughter these things about this woman, right? The difference is Shamea's mom knows enough to not get caught. Remember, she had a private conversation with KMichelle. Private conversation. She thought it wasn't going to get on the show. And look at it. It's like, when are you going to learn your lesson? The quintessential millennial. Now, I love that name. Shout out to you. That is a really nice name. This is likely so true because her sister is much lighter than her, so it stems from childhood. Agreed. I will not be surprised, because there are times where people, they think they're giving you a compliment and they say, oh, you're so beautiful for a dark-skinned girl. Like, what the hell is that? Right? I've even heard someone say that to me, and I'm not even that dark. I'm not as dark as Shamea, right? So imagine she grew up with that negativity and then internalized it and did not unlearn those things, did not rewire her brain. What do you think is going to happen? Anyone that represents that for her is going to be a problem. ZZS says she was BFF to the it girl, and we've all seen the movies and what happens in these situations. Probably secretly envied Porsha the entire time. Absolutely. But Porsha is she's so in her own world that I don't think she even saw it. I don't think she noticed. I think she was just in her own world, minding her business. I think when she probably brought the girl on the show is when she started to see that, yeah, she ain't completely right. But that's what I think happened. Yes, that attorney scene was terrible. Her husband is secretly embarrassed. If he's not, he should be. Because what the hell? Like, I would be like, you are going to a serious meeting, and this is why they didn't even take her seriously at the Rumble. Who's going to take her seriously? I'm not being funny. Who in their right mind is going to take her seriously? She's in a meeting. Wasn't she twerking at the Rumble thing? Sorry, y'all. I just had to give myself some water because it even got to the point where I'm like, my lips are so dry. Like, I am clearly dehydrated. Oh, I'm going to get myself an electrolyte after this because, yeah, this is serious. Anyway, I would be so embarrassed. Like, what the hell are we doing? Absolutely so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Okay. All right. Let me see. I think I want to play the clip and then we'll come back because I know I haven't fully played the clip, and I know we've gone off on a tangent. So I'm going to play the clip and then maybe come back to some of the comments. But if you want your comments prioritized, please send in a super chat and I will prioritize your comment. All right. Okay, let's play the rest of the clip.
Oh, Lord.
I have lived. I have lived. I'm so has your body.
Okay.
Ooh! So has your body.
Hold on.
Porsha emptied out the clip.
Hey, okay, you need to close your glory hole.
Whoa, close your glory hole. Oh my gosh.
Issue is you're being everybody's golden retriever, and I've had
You have new teeth and nowhere to sleep. Broke it.
Ooh, you have new teeth and nowhere to sleep. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Super says, I'm glad KMichelle put it on the floor at the reunion and put Shamea and her mean, nasty mama on blast. Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm definitely here for that. ZZS says, KMichelle looked for that disrespect. Glory hole. Dumb. Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely agree with that. Agree with that. And yeah, guys, I'm going to still read some of the comments around Shamea, KMichelle, and Porsha. It's just I want to play the clip first and then we'll get into some of that. She said, you have teeth and nowhere to sleep, broke B. That for me is the highlight. Like 10s across the board, honey. 10s. Like, shout out to you, Angela. You did that. Because what the hell do you mean nowhere to sleep? Like, girl. Yep. Homeless with new teeth. Absolutely. What the hell? Like, that is someone who has a priorities backwards, completely backwards. You cannot be serious, sis. Anyway, let's keep going with the clip. Guys, hit that like button, please. Let's get those likes up. Everybody, thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Shut up. You really trying to use this lady to come at me? She's lying.
So now, KMichelle is lying again. Last season, you were exposed for trying to create an alliance, but all of a sudden now, this season, KMichelle is lying. Like you were trying to set up Ish in the background. You knew exactly what you were doing, in my opinion. I think she was stirring the pot with KMichelle. I think she was. I think she was stirring the pot. She was basically trying to get KMichelle to come at Porsha. And it kind of started off that way. But Porsha, because Porsha did not give KMichelle the opportunity, you could tell that Porsha genuinely likes KMichelle. That was the only reason it didn't go left. And I guess it went left eventually. Absolutely.
No way my mama don't be dancing in no hookah lounge and talking about hallelujah and calling her Jezebel.
Oh my gosh. KMichelle exposed it all, honey. KMichelle said, your mama was there calling her a Jezebel. And this is the thing. Sometimes a lot of these people that pretend to be something, pretend to be high above it all and kind and all of that, it's just like, Shamea, you're constantly getting exposed. Everyone cannot be lying on you. Madam, everyone cannot be lying on you. There is a problem there, and I need you to take accountability. Everyone is lying. You can't keep track of what you say, madam. Right? Everyone cannot be lying. And that's my thing. That's the thing I find with Shamea that annoys me. Oh, she's lying. How can she be lying? How? This is the same thing you were exposed for last season. So how is this a lie? I don't believe that for a second that it's a lie. Let me put a poll up for you guys. Let me see how many of y'all believe Shamea. Let's see. Do you believe what KMichelle said about Shamea's mother? Okay. Yes, no. 1 second, guys. All right. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. I just put up a poll for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. I just asked you guys, do you guys believe that KMichelle is telling the truth about Shamea's mother? Let me know what you guys think. Oh, thank you so much. We have a super chat. We have a super chat. All right, where's my applause, honey? Where is my applause when I need it? Thank you so much. Super. Thank you so much. Let me see. Nope. That is not it. Thank you so much for the super chat, Super 3701. Season 16, episode 11. Porsha broke the fourth wall at the sit down at Rock South with Shamea. Porsha told Shamea she didn't want to discuss their friendship on the show. She wanted it to be just them. But I can't see the rest of the super chat. Hold on. Let me see. Can you put the rest of the super chats in the comment or in the live, because I can't see it? Yeah, let me know, because I'm not sure what has happened with that. I can't see the full thing. I think maybe YouTube cuts it off or something, but let me know, super, put it in the chat. But yeah, I thought it was Shamea that broke the fourth wall, though. Wasn't Shamea that broke the fourth wall? I thought it was Shamea that broke the fourth wall. I think it was Shamea that broke the fourth wall. I think Shamea broke the fourth wall and said something that Porsha had told her about their friendship previously, right? Like, okay, they don't pay her well enough to be on the show or whatever. Something along those lines. And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't know what Shamea wants. If truly Porsha said to her and warned her before she came on the show, this is how these shows can be. I don't want our friendship to break up because of the show. And then she proceeds to do what she did. Then you can't exactly be like shocked that that's exactly what was said, right? So the quintessential millennial says it was Shamea. I watched the episode last night. Exactly. I remember it was Shamea that said something along those lines. Oh, Super says, but here we are. Yeah, fab. Thank you. But yeah, sorry, super chats on YouTube I think they have limits on how many words can get in. But thanks again for the super chat. But yeah, it was Shamea. I just watched that episode last night. Yeah, so I think it was Shamea that broke the fourth wall and said, something about their friendship, and how Porsha said to her that if she wants her to show the ins and outs of their friendship, they're going to have to pay her more than that. And that should have been enough for you. If that person is truly your friend, that should have been it. You should have been like, all right, cool, bet. I hear what this person is saying. Cool, I'm gonna respect her. She's been here for a long time. She knows exactly what it is. But instead, no, you wanted the fame, the glitz, and the glamour, and look at where we are.
Keep my name.
Shamea, must you repeat everything someone says to you as a dig? Like, shut up. Give something else.
All right. Okay.
That is crazy. It looks like, when I say the whole thing looks intense, honey, intense. Oh, the quintessential millennial. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me give you your applause, honey. Let me give you your applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats. Thank you so much to Quintessential Millennial. Like, subscribe, and share. Yes, honey, I'm going to leave this on my screen for a minute because, yes, please like, subscribe, and share. Yes, we keep it nice. You know, we don't insult anybody, but we call out behavior, honey. So hit that like button like you've seen, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you so much. When I tell y'all, the more I think about this whole Porsha and Shamea thing, the more it's just like so much is going on that we don't even know. And I think so much is going on for Shamea that she doesn't even know. And I'm like, honey, I'm gonna need you to figure it out because there's something is wrong. Something is wrong somewhere, honey. Something is wrong somewhere. Guys, keep hitting that like button, everyone. Let's get those likes up, please, and thank you. Let's get those likes up. Alrighty. Okay, so let me catch up on the comments. Thank you so much to everyone. I love that I wasn't even planning to go live until like last minute, and I thank you guys for still showing up and showing out. I really appreciate it. And you guys might start something now because all of a sudden, now that I know you guys are home on a Sunday morning, maybe this might be our new thing, honey. You know, if there's content to talk about, then maybe I can come and talk about it at this, at this time. Okay, so let me see some of the comments I missed. ZZS says, exactly, a stang face to someone you're dying for a friendship with. That's not normal. Exactly. And there's so many clips that I can bring out where I saw Shamea having a stang face towards Porsha. Every time someone would give Porsha a compliment, she had a stang face about it. And I'm like, honey, that is not normal. That is not to say that Porsha has been perfect, because some people would like to misunderstand. I don't know the ins and outs of their friendships or their friendship. What I do know is what we're seeing on our screen, which is this lady constantly, every opportunity that she gets, doing the most, having a stank face on, saying this person is not forgiving her and making up with everyone but can't make up with her, but can never take accountability for anything. That's where the problem lies. Abner Benata? Sorry if I just butchered your name. I apologize. I've never seen you in our chat. So if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for joining in today. Really appreciate you joining. And I believe you're a he. Shamea needs therapy and a life coach or business coach and focus on her mental and navigating what she wants to do with her life. For this, sir, you get an applause. I completely agree. And the saddest part of it is I want better for her. I really do want better for her. And I actually rate KMichelle for sitting down and letting her know, don't let the end of this friendship become who you are. Don't let it become who you are. And I think she was honest. A lot of the people don't be telling her the truth. And I appreciate KMichelle for standing in that moment and saying, do you know what? Let me step in as a friend and let her know. Let her know what it really is. All right. ZZS says, I saw a picture of Porsha's mom and Shamea's mom. The apple doesn't fall from the tree. Yeah, it's definitely given that. I would not be surprised if what I was saying started off with the moms in terms of maybe Porsha's mom was always getting all the compliments and Shamea's mom was never really getting the clout and the attention of people and all of that. And somewhere deep down that, disturbed her spirits. And then now that has now been passed on to the children as well. It's such a sad situation. And then to then feel that way, but you want PJ to be going over there to play with Shia? I don't know. Diane Wright says, I don't believe Shamea hates Porsha with all the crying she was doing. I believe Kandi told her to confront Porsha and told her to address all of her issues, but it backfired. Oh my gosh. That is a very interesting perspective. That is very, very interesting. But my thing is this. If she was really trying to address her issues, why address the issue of the moms? That is not an issue that affects them. Let's be for real, right? This is something, let's even assume what they both said were true, right? Let's assume what Shamea said about Porsha's mom was true. Let's assume Porsha's mom, what Porsha said about Shamea's mom was true. Let's assume what they both said was true. Even if it was true, here is the thing. That would have happened years ago. How does that impact on the relationship today? You guys are not kids that are going over there to Mama Diane's home, chilling in the house or something. You guys are not kids. And so I don't think that her bringing up the mom was her addressing all the issues. I personally think that if she wanted to address those issues, she could have said, Porsha, I hate the way you treat me like I'm this, you treat me like I'm that, blah, blah, blah. That was not what happened, right? And so I definitely think that there's something there. Like, do I think that Kandi may have said to her, yes, confront Porsha, blah, blah? Possibly. She could have. Because I know Kandi plays nice with Porsha, but I don't believe Kandi likes Porsha. That being said, I think that Shamea wanted to embarrass Porsha. And she thought the best way to embarrass her is by talking about her mom. That's what I think it was. Because remember, there was even a point where she said something about embarrassing. Porsha was like, embarrass who? Me? If my mom did it, that was on her. But that is not true. Right? And so I think deep down, she thought that she was going to come and embarrass Porsha, but Porsha was ready for her and then released one on her, right back on her. And I think she did not see that coming. And that's why she went out of that place crying. So I personally think that, yes, she may have gotten advice to like say everything and leave it all on the table, but I don't believe for a second that she was trying to confront all issues, because I'm like, if you're really trying to confront all your issues with somebody, then you talk about what the issue actually is, not the person's mother. But let me know what you all think. ZZS says, if you look at Porsha and Diane, they're the it girls, and Shamea and Mama are the low self-esteem BFFs. Oh my gosh. Oh, that gagged me. I'm sorry. All I see is 2 generations of the same cycle. Yes. And that is why it was so shocking to me that Shamea still wanted PJ at her house. You want us to now have the 3rd generation of this mess? What do you think this is? 3rd generation of this nonsense? No, thank you. And I'm glad that someone had enough sense to step in and say, no, we're not about to use my daughter to do a 3rd generation of this mess. Since Shamea said it's from generation to generation. Right? The quintessential millennial says, but then Shamea had the nerve to be upset that Porsha didn't want PJ over there, as if she would want her daughter around people that hate her mother. Be so for real. This is what gags me every single time. Like, if I'm not talking to you, I'm not talking to your daughter. Respectfully, if I see your daughter out and she says hi to me, I will say hi back. Let's be for real. However, I'm not going to be like, oh, invite your daughter over to my house, knowing fully well I'm not effing with you. No. I'm not doing that. Even no matter what, I am not doing that. If you and I are not speaking, then that means I'm not seeing your child. And you're not seeing mine, and that is absolutely fine with me. Kids are resilient. They will be fine. You know what I mean? Like, take them to the park and let them meet some new friends. They will forget about their old friends. Like, let's be freaking for real. Those kids are way too young for it to be such an issue. They will move on. They will. Right? So And if she really felt like there was so much to lose, then don't take it to hell with your ex-best friend. If you want to still have some access, right? You could have just been like, okay, she's no longer my best friend, but we're good friends, or we're friends, or whatever. And that would have been okay. Right? But you took it to hell, and then you were expecting, what were you expecting? Diane says Shamea should have addressed Porsha off the show and left it there. She got bad advice from Candy and went down the wrong road. Agreed, wrong road, because there is no way this is how you should have addressed it. There's no way. If, let's be for real, if she invited Porsha and said, you know what, hi Porsha, I know we're going to be in a group with a bunch of people. Let's sit down and have a talk so we can resolve our issues. Porsha would have gone. And Porsha would have sat down with that lady, and Porsha would have talked about their issues, and they would have moved on from it. But the fact that she did not do that lets me believe that she wanted to embarrass her, and she wanted it public. And that's exactly what she did by bringing everyone into the conversation, by trying to bring up the mothers in front of everyone. What she didn't expect was that the whole group hated it, and the whole group were like, yeah, nah, this is not okay. This is not what you do. Because then everyone is looking like, if you could do this to your ex-best friend, then nobody is safe around you. And I would agree. ZZS says Shamea was exposed again this reunion. Never win when you play dirty. Agreed. And I actually think she definitely does not learn her lesson. She should have sat down and next time make sure this doesn't happen again. Instead, she decided that no, she was going to start some dumb-ish again, yet again. So she clearly does not learn. And I personally think and wish that Bravo will not bring her back, because I think they need to stop bringing divisive people, because divisive people will be plotting and scheming behind the scenes and then be giving you lackluster performances on the show. Instead of bringing it all to the show. If you want to have an alliance, sit down and talk about it on the show. Right? Build your friendships on the show. Right? Instead, you're doing it on the side, you're hanging out on the side casually, and then you want to come on the screens like nothing happened and then not give us the context that we're missing. The quintessential millennial says, yes, because that's part of the reason Kay and Shamea fell out, because of how weird her and her mama were at the club. Exactly. That lady was tired of Shamea and her mama. Like, who wouldn't be tired of Shamea and her mama? Like, let's be honest. Your mom is pulling me to the side, praying with me, talking about trying to get me into some sort of alliance with her daughter. I would be annoyed. Especially after last season. I would be pissed. Right? It was Shamea. I just watched the episode. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Super says you're right. Shamea and Porsha said that they would have to pay her more, but Shamea said Porsha said that they would have to pay her more, but Porsha told her she was going through enough already and didn't want their friendship to be a storyline. Exactly. And she called it. But Shamea wants fame at all costs, in my opinion, that she does not care. She really does not care. Like, whatever she gets to do to have the fame that she wants, she is really going to do that. And I personally stand by that. I feel like that is what Shamea's problem is. Whatever it takes to get there is what she would do. Now, guys, I have put a link in the chat for anyone who wants to come up and speak their piece. I think, can I pin it? Y'all, I do not know how to do all of these things at once, honey. Can I pin it? Now it's asking me if I want to put myself in timeouts. Anyway, that is the link. If you guys click on the link if you guys want to come up. It's in the live chat. Click on the link if you want to come up and talk to me. Hit that like button if you haven't already, everybody. Thank you so much. The quintessential millennial says literally the most and at the least at the same time. Yep. Does the most for no reason, if you ask me. Junkie Chanel says, I love Porsha. Yes, girl, you're in good company. Junkie Chanel says, I believe KMichelle about Shamesi. Yes, I believe it too. I believe it too, especially because of last season's reunion. We saw how that went down. We also saw how Shamea's mother handled Drew, right? All of that shows me that Shamea and her mama are just as messy. And that is all it is. ZZS says Porsha's mom was also married to a famous man. Yes, apparently. Wasn't it like a civil rights activist or something? So yeah. Porsha's mom is gorgeous AF. She is. She is. Body's on point. She's been tea from day one. Cindy says Shamea is obsessed with Porsha. So long as Porsha is around, she'll have to shade or try to hurt her. Agreed. And that's why I think that normally if people fall out and someone does not take it to hell like that, I can understand being in the same room with them. But the way Shamea has taken it to hell, and the way Angela was saying that Shamea was dancing in Porsha's face, remember at the confessionals, and then Porsha posted a video on her page where we saw Shamea and Kelly walk right in front of Porsha after the whole your mother thing. I think Shamea was trying to get Porsha to hit her. And Porsha surprised her by not hitting her. I think she wanted to trick Porsha out of her spot. And so that's why I'm like, it's getting dangerous. And I literally hope that production, Bravo, whoever is making those decisions, honey, I need y'all to get right in there and decide, like, okay, maybe enough is enough. Because this girl is going to cause some problems, serious problems, if things continue at this pace. ZZS says, Kandi did coach her, but Shamea didn't follow the game plan. You think? Shamea went rogue and Kandi? That would be so funny. Not a bad theory at all. Yeah, it's definitely given. Some coaching happened. Now, whether or not she listened to the coaching that was given, we do not know. Abner says, I pronounced it right, and you're a he. Welcome. You might be one of our first he's on the channel, honey. Welcome. I hope you, thank you for your support. Are you new to the channel, or are you a long-standing like subscriber? Let me know, because I don't think I've seen your name before. I'm usually better with names, maybe not face, better with faces. But on YouTube, I try to remember people's names. Super says, Shamea went low and feels justified. Exactly. And that's what's so diabolical, because how can you feel justified by doing and going to that extent? And this is why I feel like even her stands worry me, because I don't understand why anyone will think that Shamea is justified in how low she went. I can't understand, even if you don't like Porsha or any of the girls, but the way she went that low and you feel like that's justified, like, you guys are a different breed, honey. Different. Junkie Chanel says she waited to get that peach in order to take down Queen Porsha, but everything is backfiring on her. Yes, you do not win when you play dirty. And that is the thing that happens sometimes, where you feel like, imagine, right? Like, you come in, you're trying to take your best friend's spot and you're hoping that she's replaceable, and then reverse Uno. And then it falls right back on you. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to wet my mouth, honey. I've used my mouth to speak a lot today, but I'm enjoying you guys, so yeah. Junkie Chanel says, Kandi is a evil witch who is jealous of Porsha. Those are some strong words, honey. Why do you think so? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, or join or click on the link. I want to know why you think Kandi is evil and is jealous of Porsha. Put it in the chat. I don't think she likes her, but I wouldn't go to the extent of evil and jealous. So I want to know why you think that, because maybe you can bring me around to your views on that. Super says, Kandi said she told Shamea whatever she does off camera, she doesn't have to answer to or be held accountable for it. Oh.
Hold
on. Well, girl, times have changed, honey, because now you have to answer for it if someone brings it on camera. And I guess that's why she keeps lying and saying it's a lie, it's a lie. But it's like everyone cannot be saying the same lie against you. Especially when there is proof that you went out and you were being messy because you also invited the guy who KMichelle used to date on that show, and who had at a point dated Porsha as well. So what are we saying? Bajan says, didn't Angela tell Shamea last season, go talk to Porsha and let her know how you feel? Yep, she did. She did. And this is the thing. I think she is one of those people that hold grudges. They will never tell you what you've done wrong, but they will hold it. They will treat you. They will throw shade at you. They will talk to whoever who cares to listen about how much of a bad friend you are, but then they will still be trying to be friends with you. I knew someone like that. Imagine, I thought everything was good. We were good. She posted she posted one of those like backhanded birthday messages on her page for me. And I remember seeing the birthday message and I thought, is everything okay with this girl? And so, of course, I reached out to her. I'm like, girl, thank you so much. How are you? Is everything okay? You know, just trying to gauge where she's at. She said, yeah, hey, girl, hey, bestie. I was like, all right, cool. Say less. Fast forward to later that day, I got a call from a mutual friend. And this mutual friend says to me, yeah, are you and this girl good? I say, yeah, we good. She's like, are you sure? I said, what do you mean? She said, yeah, she called me. She was saying this about you. I was like, she said all of that? I was like, okay. So I called my friend, right, who I thought was my friend, and I was like, hey, girl, just checking in, right? Like, what's going on with this? She's like, no, she's lying. I didn't say that. But those things that she said were so specific. I knew she had said that. And this was not the first time something like that has happened. And I was just like, that person is exactly like Shamea. You would think you guys are good, then somebody will be out here calling you, telling you your best friend is talking smack about you, and you're so confused, like, girl, I thought we were good. Like, what is the issue? Right? So anyway. Diane says, I do believe Kandi really does not like Porsha, especially with Porsha still being cool with Phaedra. Kandi definitely holds grudges. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think she doesn't like Porsha. And yeah. She definitely holds grudges. I think that's why her and Shamea are very similar. They definitely do hold grudges to the end. Cindy says Shamea is the one who is delusional. Yeah, it's definitely given delusional in the voice of Pinky, honey. Junkie Chanel says Kandi is mad and jealous of Porsha because she's friends with Feifei. Ah, I see. Okay. Chanel says Kandi and her friends have young children. Exactly. So Shamea, go over there and play with Kandi and her friends' kids. Okay, let your daughter play over there with the kids. Junkie Chanel says Shamea's mess is backfired on her. She is lame AF. Agreed. Definitely agree. And I think it's literally just playing out right before our very eyes. It really is playing out. Cosmic Queen, hello. I don't think I've ever seen your name in the chat, so welcome to the chat. If you're new, welcome. I hope you hit that like button and subscribe. Back in the day, Phaedra was natural hair since forever. Exactly. So I think maybe like that's part of why she looks different as well, because now she's doing different hair with different level of volume, different styles, different colors. And Phaedra is what, 52? Phaedra looks good. So anyway, let me see how many likes we've managed to get, because I know some of y'all be so stingy with the likes. Guys, please, let's get those likes up. We're on 45 likes and we have 64 people in here. So please, let's get those likes up, please, and thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Alrighty. Diane says Shamea used PJ because she needed attention from Porsha. Porsha wasn't giving her anything. When Porsha told her we're no longer sisters, Shamea pulled her last bullet and dropped her ledge mama tea. Agreed. Agreed. I just saw ZZ's comments. Oh my gosh, this is so funny to me. Well, the night is still young, honey. The night is still young. Don't be surprised if we get some new folks right in there. Okay? If you guys disagree with anything that is being said, now is your time. I put a link in the chat. So click on that link. Don't be scared. Click on that link. Honestly, guys, I keep it respectful. I'm not out here cursing out nobody. So click on that link. Come up if you want to speak your speech or whatever and say how you feel. Whether or not you agree with anything we say or disagree with in this comments section. Okay. Diane said, I wanted Porsha and Shamea to be BFFs on the show. Shamea handled things poorly. Porsha is not perfect by far. Okay. She is not. Shamea started with this alliance stuff, wrong road. Agreed. I really wanted, like, if you guys went back to the content that I posted about, also guys, if you're trying to come in and you're unable to come in, please let me know. It should be all right, but just in case. So my thing is, I really wanted them to be BFFs on the show. I really wanted to see them having fun together. I was actually looking forward to Shamea being on the show, but I felt like Shamea played herself. She really let them trick her out of her spot because she could have gone far by being friends with Porsha than she is going to go by trying to be Porsha's enemy. And I'm just like, it's so sad because there's no reason why you should have been on the show talking about your friend. No way. You shouldn't have been talking to Angela, not Drew, none of these people. That's your friend, honey. You handle it off camera. You sit her down. If she's not listening, you bring Lauren into the conversation. And you sit down and you talk about it. That's it. ZZS said Candy doesn't like P because very early on in their relationship with Todd, she said he would choose Porsha in some game. She was mad ever since, and Porsha kept getting finer. Yes. Oh my gosh, I remember that. That is the thing. This is the thing sometimes, right, about women. Instead of focusing on the man that said the nonsense, right? You are so fixated on the woman in question. Like, it's not the woman's fault that the man finds her attractive. Check your man. Right? And so I feel like sometimes there is a little bit there that I really, really don't like with men sometimes, where it's like, the man says something crazy, and instead of holding the man accountable, you're dragging the woman indirectly for something the man did. Not cool. The quintessential millennial says, this is the same woman who met with Ralph last year and tried to roll Porsha into it by inviting her to dinner without telling her who would be there. Nasty work. That is who she is. That is who she is. She is messy. I think that she wants a lot of fame and she will do anything for the fame. I believe that. I stand by it. Anyone, you can, let me know what you all think. But personally, I genuinely believe that she is one of those people that will do whatever it is for the sake of fame. Because there is no way this show would be affecting my mental health. And I would continue to stay on the show that is affecting my mental health. A show that is having me crying 24/7 in the confessionals. A show that is having me looking pressed like a panini every time my ex-best friend walks in. And you think that I would stay there and continue to what? Show up? And no, I would be like, you know what? Sometimes I have to know when the door is not for me. Sometimes I need to know when it's time to move on with my life. Sometimes I need to know that, okay, do you know what? This ain't it. Let me move on to bigger and better things because this is not it, right? And so when you can't do that and you don't know how to separate yourself from things that are not good for you just because you want something, then that's on you. N. Watson says, I'm late. No, you're fine. Thanks for joining the party. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining again, my lovely. Candy can't wait to get her lick back from Porsha. Agreed. I think that if Phaedra wasn't on the show, she would come back trying to get her lick back. She would. She would. All right, let's see. Black Diamond Rose. Interesting name. Thanks for joining in. Let's see what you're saying. When Porsha is calling people low down dirty snakes, telling them they're sleeping with pastors, beating people up, taking people's husband, etc., is that low? Talking about Shamea's mom, is that low? Okay, so you said a lot of things. I've dropped the link in the chat if you want to talk about it. But that's just that, right? Click on the link if you want to talk, and let's talk about it. Now, I personally am not here to defend anyone. So if that's your perspective, that's your perspective, right? It is what it is. I personally think that Shamea was the one that brought up the mom thing first, because she started talking about, she was saying stuff in confessionals about the mothers. She said stuff when she was talking to Cynthia about the mothers. Now, it may not have been at the level where it was like excessive, but she did throw shade that gave the impression that Mama Diane was not good friends to her mother, but her mother was a good friend to Mama Diane, right? And then brought up the fact that the mothers were the reason for the demise or the issues in their friendship, which when that's not really the case, right? So that's just what that is, really. So if you disagree, let's know what your feedback actually is and why you disagree. We are talking about the trailer, what KMichelle has said about Shamea's mother, and all of that. So, yeah. N. Watson says, I like that you don't mind people having a difference of opinion. Yeah, I do not, girl. I do not mind any. For me, I do not mind any type of opinion. The opinion could be so left field, I really don't care. What I like, though, is when people like share their opinion and give you reasons, right? Because like if I look through some of the comments, right, people said, remember how someone in the chat said she feels like Candy is jealous of Porsha? And I was like, oh, why? I like being able to have dialogues with people. Even if you say something I don't agree with, I want to know why you said it so we can talk about those points, right? And so that's kind of how I do it. But I feel like sometimes people get very disrespectful, and I'm like, it ain't that deep. It is not that deep. Share your views and let's move on and be done with it. Todd should have kept his mouth shut. He should have. Like, there's no reason for him to be saying something like that. We do not need all of that. So, it's like, why say stuff like that if that's not really necessary? Okay. He should have said, nobody, I'm taking that to the grave. The end. Or my wife. Simple. Like, just because you're playing a game does not mean you have to get involved in every single game. Like, how many times have I been invited into, like, to get involved in, like, games, and I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not playing into this mess and get myself in trouble. Guys, hit that like button if you have not already, please, and thank you. N. Watson says, or maybe Todd was trying to give Candy a clue. Ooh. I personally think he would have wanted a 3-way with Porsha. I think so. I believe it. Not saying that it happened, not saying I don't know what this man is thinking in his mind, but low-key, that is what I think. So that is it. That is all. Okay, so Black Diamond Rose says, the poll is unfair. Whether KMichelle is telling the truth or not has nothing to do whether Shamea is innocent. Innocent of what? It is a poll. You either get involved or you don't get involved. Okay? Simple. Alrighty. Where do we go? When is the next comment? Oh, I've read that one. Bajan says, last season, Shemesi was riding Porsha's coattails. She met with Basement Billy, then brought Porsha to meet up with them. Yeah, she did that. Nobody tried to get her to do nothing. She said and did what she wanted to do. And so it's like, stand in it. But even that, she couldn't stand in it. And that is the problem. It's like, girl, you do not know if you want to be a villain or a victim. And these are the issues, honey. These are the issues. These are the issues. Okay. Porsha gets a pass for any of those Kelly rumors because we're tired of Kelly. Oh, yeah, sorry. I can see Zizzy is responding to someone in the chat. Abner says, Shamea thought she would be loved and Porsha would be the villain. Unfortunately, it backfired because she's a constant victim and doesn't see where she's going wrong. Agreed. I think because she knew how people felt about the taking of Simon, right? Now, not that I think that she took that man. That man was already out in the streets, right? I personally think that she knew how people felt about Porsha following this incident, right? And so I think she came in trying to play on that, but then it went left for her. Because it's like, girl, if you are playing the victim, that is not going to continue to fly. It's not going to fly forever. People will see through it. Now, do I think that there are some people that because they hate Porsha so much are now fans of Shamea? Yes. Shamea has actually managed to garner herself some fans because of their hate for Porsha. And I'm just like, okay, so I guess it worked to an extent. But I do think that ultimately, at the core of it, Shamea does not know if she wants to be a victim or a villain. She thought the people were going to love her, especially after the first episode of last season, where people were like talking about, oh, she's the quintessential housewife. She has so much money and wealth is screaming and all of that. And I was one of those people that was excited, right? I love the fact that she's living a good life. Love that for her. But she dropped the ball. And unfortunately, over here on this channel, we address behavior. So if next season, the people that seem to have really nice seasons, like Porsha, like Drew, decide next season they're going to be moving mad, guess who's going to be calling them out next season? Me. That's what I do. I'm here to call people out and give feedback and commentary, you know, so there is that. So ZZ Abbas says Porsha is evil. Okay, why do you think Porsha is evil? Put it in the chat or click on the link and come and talk to us. ZZS says taking someone's husband, that man Shamea introduced her to, or the man whose wife was pregnant for the pool boy, not okay. And that's no marriage to defend. Agreed. And the other thing I want to say about this is most people know someone who has dated whilst going through a divorce or whilst being separated from their spouse. You know someone who has either dated whilst being separated and or going through a divorce, and someone who was dating someone who was in that situation. You guys do not call them all types of slags or say she took that woman's husband, right? Simon has showed us proof that his wife was creeping. Simon has showed us proof that they were separated. Fallon can say that they were separated, right? When she went to meet the pool boy, but Simon cannot say he was separated when he met Porsha. Like, guys, let's be for real. There's nobody is giving anyone passes here. This is just the reality, right? It's more nuanced than people like to believe and whatnot. Do I think that Porsha missed the mark by being out here publicly showing this man, not letting the divorce be fully final before dealing with all of that? Absolutely. Right? That's just my view on that. Diane Wright says, Shamea misses her friendship with Porsha. She knows Porsha is a fun girl and wants to turn up with Porsha rather than boring Candy. Oh my gosh. Not boring Candy. Yo, that is so funny to me. Abner says Shamea thought that she would be well received and loved by the public and paint Porsha out to be the villain, but it backfired because she's a constant victim and doesn't see her faults. You hit the nail on the head. I gotta give you an applause for that, honey, because you ate that. I completely agree. And I think that's what makes it so tricky. That's what makes it so tricky. It's like, if you see your faults, right? And someone says you're wrong for this, and you're like, do you know what? I'm wrong, but I stand in what I said. Nobody will fault her. People will let her be her. But the problem is she backpedals, then she tries to make it seem like, no, it's your fault and you pushed me in. And it's like, nobody pushed you. You did this to yourself. You came on with an agenda and it blew up right in your face. And you have nobody to blame but yourself. I don't know what to tell ya. Right? And so I feel like that's pretty much what it is. And it's just like she just can't take the fact that like the world, the fans are seeing her for who she really is. What a shame. And I think that's part of why there is a long-standing beef between Angela and Shamea. I think now, do I think Angela is doing too much when it comes to Shamea? Yes. Yes, I stand by that. Completely agree. I think I definitely do agree with that. We have watched Porsha grow from being married to a total knock, evicted on RA, hit Kenya, Underground Railroad, 265 days a year. I still saw that clip recently, and still evolved into a beautiful woman she is. Agreed. You know, we saw her go through it all, and I guess that's what makes her relatable, because everyone sees how she has gotten through different stages. And people resonate with that kind of energy, someone that can laugh at them, someone that can laugh at what was done, what was said, and then move on, right? And so that's why I think things went down. Porsha is not getting a pass. Absolutely not. No. They probably weren't in your house though. I'm not sure what comment is in relation to. I misspoke. She doesn't get a pass, but we have more grace for her. Oh, that's what ZZS says. Okay. Black Diamond Rose says, I think Shamea missed the boat coming for Porsha. Agreed. I think Black Diamond Rose, I think this is something we can agree on. And I love that, like, you came back and you basically let us know this is what you think and what your perspective is. And I would say thank you for keeping it respectful, because we can disagree all day, every day, but this community is very much like, we are tight-knit and we keep it very respectful. So thanks for coming back and, like, you know, just saying how you feel clearly, and now we can respond to this. So yeah, I think Shamea missed the boat coming for Porsha. I do think Candy had a hand in that. I agree with you. Shamea did open up the show but dropped the ball. Hallelujah. This we can all agree on, and I think a lot of people in the chat will agree with this. I definitely think that it's so sad, because I was one of those people rooting. In the words of Tyra, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I was rooting for Shamea. I was one of those people who were so excited when Shamea got the peach. And then I did say I have concerns about whether or not it would become a thing and they would be pit against each other. This is something I said back then. And then look at it now. And so I think she went from opening the show, being a huge headliner last season, and then completely fumbling the bag. So sad. And I actually think that it was planned out. I think that she thought, you know what, people already don't like Porsha, so let me just come in and then just come for Porsha and use that to get my foot in the door. Because I personally think when I started to, I'll tell you multiple times when I started to look at Shamea the other way. One, when I heard that she was talking to Drew and Angela about Porsha, I was like, that is concerning. The second time I started to look at her one way is when she sat down on camera and said something that Porsha had told her privately about not wanting to bring their friendship onto the show so it doesn't become a thing, like they don't pay her enough for that or something. I'm like, this girl is trying to make you lose your job, because how are you going to say that in front of her employers that she told you this? Right? Very, very shady. And so I like that, even if you may personally, you know, like or have affinity for Shamea, it's still something where you can see that she missed it by coming for Porsha to begin with. N. Watson says, I thought Porsha and Shamea was going to have fun when she came on the show. Then I realized they didn't have a true friendship. Agreed. I was really looking forward to them geeking on the show, having a blast, because the thing is, when there is true, genuine connection between best friends, it can be so fun to watch. Seeing them finish each other's sentences, bouncing off each other. Like, I thought it was about to be fire. However, that just did not pan out, sadly. Diane said Simon surprisingly took Portia's side over the Fallon backlash. Exactly, because, and best believe he could have decided to then say, well, she came and she stole me. He didn't say that, right? And I feel like he didn't say that because he knows fully well that that ain't the truth, right? And so I just think, like, regardless of like how people feel or whatever, it's like, let's be for real, right? Like, regardless of whether you like the lady, to say that she saw that man, I don't think I would agree with it, all things considered. I don't think Angela is doing too much as far as Shamea. Like Angela said, don't start fires and then get offended by the smoke. Okay, all right. Super thinks like the smoke, the fire is what she started and she deserves all the smoke. So fair enough. Let me see. Candy definitely has a battery in Shamea's back. Yes, I do agree with that. I think there's something there. There is no way that lady is just out here by herself, just running amok. In my opinion, I feel like there's definitely something somewhere. Someone is putting a battery. If it's not Shamea, if it's not Candy, it's Shamea's mom. Somebody is doing it, in my opinion. Diane says, we should not all be the same from 10 years ago or 5 years ago. We should evolve and grow. People want Porsha to stay stuck in the past. I agree. And I think that's why I feel like every time somebody like talks about all of the historic things that Porsha has done years ago, I'm like, okay, since then, when has she done this again? These are the things I want us to like focus on. When has she done this again? When has she done this again? When has she done this again? Someone doing one thing is different from them having a pattern of doing something consistently. Like, let me give you an example. The reason I come at Shamea specifically in relation to what KMichelle said at the reunion is because I saw this happen last season when she was exposed for wanting to create an alliance. If she was exposed last season for trying to create an alliance and having the girls go after each person or whatever it is they were trying to do then, that Brit exposed, and then this season, KMichelle is saying very similar things, I believe it. There is a pattern there, right? And so that is where I'm coming from in relation to that, right? I know you were not directing this at me, but I do agree. I don't believe the show should have broken up their relationship. I agree. But then I also understand how, because if I think about me, how would I feel if I found out my best friend was over there talking to people that we don't even know? Angela was new to the show. Drew had an issue or had issues with Porsha, right? Imagine. Do you think that I'm going to be thinking, oh my God, this is my best friend? If my best friend can get on camera and be talking to these people, nah, fam. I'm looking at her sideways thinking, yeah, this is one to watch. Right? And so that's sort of the way I guess my mind works. Right? But even at that, I don't think it should have gone this far. And I think look at how the whole season has happened. Porsha and Shamea are in the same space, no issues. All of a sudden, Shamea decided to wake it up. Nobody told her to wake it up. She could have decided to keep it in the past and move on, but she decided to wake it up. So that lady knew what the heck she was doing. And it's like, don't cry now. You did that. Right? So I can see people saying, I agree. Okay, sounds like we all got to some sort of agreement at the end. Candy gave Shamea some bad intel. my thing is, if she first gave her some bad intel, right? Let's assume last season she gave her some bad intel. That intel did not work last season. What makes you think it's going to work this season? What makes you think it's going to work this season? If it didn't work last season, that would have been a good opportunity to course correct. Course correct. Switch it up. Okay, last year, me trying to do this did not work. Let me leave it this season. Put my hand up and switch it up. But no, I think one of the things that I feel like a really good housewife knows how to do is knows when to pivot, knows how and when to pivot. It is giving wrong road. Think about it. Porsha did that as a master class at the reunion last season, right? And let me tell you what she did. Oh, I have a delivery. Give me a second, guys. 1 second, guys. I've been waiting for my DJI camera. 1 sec. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm back. I had to run up and down the stairs, honey. I was like, I am not missing my DJI. Whew, I'm out of breath. I had to run down twice because I went and I forgot the code that I needed to give the DPD driver. Whew. All right, y'all. Give me a second. Let me drink some water. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. Okay. So, honestly, I can't remember where I stopped. But yes, Candy gave Shamea some bad advice. Yes, she must have, because if someone gave me advice that didn't work last season, I am not about to do the same advice and use the same advice this new season. Hell no. You have to have some wit about you. And I think her doing that apology, she should have come the next season on her best behavior, but she wasn't, right? And that's the first thing. Then the second thing is, imagine not coming on your best behavior after apologizing. Then the next thing is, she kept doing all these interviews talking about, yeah, she doesn't care if she's a villain or whatever. And I'm like, girl, if that's how you feel, then you can't now be sorry and be crying left, right, center. Like, what are we doing? And so that's where I feel like her issues stem from. But anyway. Oh my gosh, Diane, you are correct. Thank you so much for reminding the people. I talked about this in one of my previous episodes recently where I said people keep forgetting that Shamea was showing text messages that Porsha sent her, right? Which were conversations that Porsha had with her therapist. Like, after that, we could not be friends anymore because I cannot even trust you. I cannot trust that I can send you stuff in private, you be showing text messages. So she showed the text messages. Same thing she did in what? Was it season 9 or I can't remember what season it was, where she was showing Porsha's text messages. Why are you doing that? That's not what a best friend does. And I wish that instead of painting one person as the villain, let's pay attention to what has each person done. Nobody is innocent in this setup. Let's be for real. The only difference is this season, more recently, Porsha ain't done nothing to that lady. Right? But everyone has a part to play in the demise of this relationship. Guys, hit that like button if you have not already. Let me see. Also, keep engaging with the poll in the chat. I can see that 41 people have voted. Keep voting in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much. Hit that like button if you have not already. Let's get those likes up. Thank you so much. Also, why don't you guys want to come up and talk? Like, you guys want me to say everything today? Like, come up and talk. I don't bite. I'm gonna leave it again for, and see if anyone wants to join again before I start rounding up. Let me see some more of the comments. Candy probably said, hell, let's try this time. Maybe it will work. Hopefully for the third time, she knows that it ain't gonna work. Okay. Do you guys think there is one poll that I want to give you guys before, because there's been talks about who is going to come back on the show next season? Who do you think is coming back on the show next season? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Who do you think is coming back next season? And who do you think should not come back next season? Let's talk about that. Candy also didn't tell Shamea to mention how the candy-coated clique didn't like KMichelle. Shamea is just a mess. She is. And that's the thing. People that are people pleasers will always play both sides, right? Whoever she is with in that moment, she's likely to forget. She's likely to forget, right? And say something that she's not meant to say. That's just how people pleasers work. ZZS says, when Porsha came on the show, I was in my late teens, early 20s, and her wardrobe and the way she dressed was a reason to tune in on Sundays. People forget that women also watch for the fashions. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And look at us, growing with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha was always a baddie. Absolutely, always. I don't understand why she wants to be a villain so bad. Villains can be likable as well. Exactly. I don't even think that she wants to be a villain. I think she wants to be liked. The problem is she is so unhealed and she's not so sure of herself that she just does things. It's like someone that is so, they just move anyhow. They can't decide where they want to be at, and it makes for a really, really bad lane. Do you want to be the fun girl? Do you want to be the liked girl? Do you want to be the baddie, the bankruptcy baddie, in the words of Pinky? Like, what do you want to be? Right? And that doesn't mean that you cannot move and do different things, but at the same time, it's definitely given that everything just screams, I'm a victim, but then I'm also the villain. It's like, girl, that is very hard to like empathize with. Diane said, yes, I know a lot of Shamea fans is because she has money. If she didn't, do you think she would be this popular? Absolutely not. And I completely agree with you, Diane. This is exactly what I said. I think sometimes people have this proximity to wealth thing. And I think it got to a point where Carlos also experienced that after doing interview with Shamea. I think after he did the interview with Shamea and was in proximity to wealth, you could tell that even his commentary changed about her. He started to give her more of a conscious, nicer edit than he normally would. And I definitely think that there's something about proximity to wealth. There's something about wealth that makes people feel like, yeah, no, everything is this and all. Nah. She may just not be a good person, and that is okay. She may just not be healed in her personality. She may have issues that she needs to work on like everyone else, right? but she shouldn't get a pass because she's Shamea and she's rich, right? Or married to wealth, you know? So these are some of the things that I feel like people need to, you know, clarify, or people need to be aware of, basically. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate you guys today. Thank you so much. Thanks for a wonderful, fair, and honest chat. Anytime. Thank you so much. Like, one thing I'm going to do if I do nothing else is I will keep it fair and honest, and irrespective of whether or not I like or dislike the person. I actually don't dislike anybody on the show. It's just I just give my feedback based on what they give us. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's very nice when you show up and you feel like people kind of see how you show up as well. So I really, really appreciate that. It's honestly it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed every single one of you guys. I've enjoyed you, Diane. You've shared a lot of really good feedback and comments that I've been able to like bring up and talk about. So thank you so much for also being very engaging. And thanks again. I really appreciate every single person on here today. And, you know, especially appreciate you as well for the super chat. Thank you. Bajan says, Bajan came through with a gift. Thank you so much, Bajan. She is giving me 2 jewels, silver star. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yes, like I think the other day when Bajan gave me a gift, I was like, what is this? At this point, I didn't know that YouTube do gifts. So I really appreciate you for being the first ever person to even send me a gift through the new YouTube gift thing. I don't know how it's different from Super Chat, but yeah. Thank you so much for the gift, Bajan. Really appreciate it. Okay. Hit that like button if you have not hit that like button already. Let me see. Who do you guys want to come back? Who do you guys think needs to go? Put it in the chat. Okay, so Watson, N. Watson says, Porsha, unless she decides not to. Angela, Phaedra, Drew, and Cynthia. Okay. So she is keeping it short and sweet, honey. She is like, I want Porsha. Porsha wants to come back. Angela, Phaedra, Drew, and Cynthia. Nobody else, honey. Okay. All right. Now, Porsha, definitely, the Bravo are not letting her go. Okay. And she best know that she is not going nowhere. Okay. I don't think she's going anywhere. And I think she definitely better get used to it. I don't think she's going anywhere. She's now the face of the show. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So yeah, she just needs to keep it going at this point, honey. Ain't nothing changing. Okay. But yeah, I think, yeah, I don't think she's going anywhere. ZZS says, I know I'm reaching, but I know Andy be lurking in the comments. I want Porsha, Nene, Phaedra, Candy, Kim, Brat, and Judy. Not Brat and Judy. Drew and Cynthia. That is a very interesting mix. You have to tell me why you want Brat and Judy. Put it in the chat, because that is a very interesting mix, y'all. Who else wants Brat and Judy? Because I'm trying to understand who else wants Brat and Judy, because that is a very interesting mix. Nene, I understand, girl. I understand. We all want Nene, right? Whether or not that is going to happen, who knows? They may surprise us. Porsha, definitely Porsha is coming back. And if anything, I don't know if you guys saw, let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if you guys saw something that Porsha posted. Let me get it up. Porsha posted this yesterday, right? And I personally think the reason she posted it is because she's letting the peaches know, or the people know, that she is coming back, honey. She is back. This is what she posted. Okay? So she is letting the people know that peaches, honey. Okay? That dress is fabulous. She looks good. And this is why they be hating, honey. Porsha is a baddie. Okay? Gorgeous. So my thing is like, bear in mind that this outfit was from season 17. We're now in season 18, aren't we? Hold on. No, this was from season 16, wasn't it? And now we're in season 17. So it's like, girl, why are you wearing this? And then holding the peach is given the contract has been secured. Okay. So I think Porsha is coming back personally. I think that Nene, we'll have to wait and see what happens with Nene. Phaedra is definitely coming back. I don't think they're going to leave Phaedra. I think Phaedra gives us good confessionals. I think a lot of the girls haven't really hacked the art of confessionals, but Phaedra gives us good confessionals. So I think she's definitely coming back. If for nothing else, she's coming back for the confessionals, okay? Candy ain't coming back as long as Phaedra is there. So Candy is like, yeah, nah, I am not going to be there. And so I don't think Candy is going to come unless Phaedra is removed. And I don't think they're going to remove Phaedra because Phaedra is very well liked. Okay. And also remember, Andy said that Phaedra was activated at the reunion. So if Phaedra is activated at the reunion, then best believe that that means that Phaedra showed up at the reunion and clearly must have secured her peach by doing so. Because what some people don't realize also is when you show up at the reunion, even if you didn't pull your weight during the season, but you have such a good reunion, it be having Bravo and them lot talking, honey. They're like, do you know what? We got to bring this person back. Let's see what they can do next season. And so I personally would say, I think Phaedra is coming back. Candy, yeah, I don't think Candy's coming back anytime soon. Drew, I did hear rumors in the past about them not necessarily being sure about Drew, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where things are at now because Drew seemed to have an okay season this season. Cynthia is definitely coming back. So yeah. ZZS is saying they're all in Atlanta and they have an interesting story and they're both wives. This is going to be a twist for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Interesting. Okay. Not mad at that. I can see that. I heard Nene is in negotiations. I don't know though. Diane, I read something about that today as well. So I don't know if it's the truth, but if it's the truth, that would be very interesting. Because if Nene, do you think they're going to bring Nene as a friend of first, same as Cynthia? Because Cynthia is doing so good in her role as a friend of. And I don't understand, is Cynthia going to be activated when Nene is there? Because Cynthia tends to like cower down when Nene is there for some reason. I don't know what it is, the dynamic of their relationship, but she tends to like cower down a little bit. So I'm not really sure if that's going to be a thing. But I don't know. That's just kind of what I think. But y'all let me know what you think. Do you guys genuinely think like Cynthia and Nene would be a good mix for the show? Or do you think that we're not going to get the Cynthia that we're getting right now? Oh, Bajan, that's the Brats. Google the Brats. DA Brats. I think she used to do like she used to do rap or like music, and she was on Ricky Smiley's show. I think she may still be on it. That Porsha was on at some point. And Watson said, "Oh, I got her letter. That's definitely what's given. It's given Porsha's peaches secure, honey. That is what it's given." Cosmic Queen said she told Shamea they have to pay more. Shamea asked why though. Exactly. Ask why. Because now I'm sure this season is letting her know why. If we're being completely honest. Brat and Judy are two women married living in Atlanta, has a young child. Brat is already well known and Judy has a hair brand. Real Housewives of Atlanta need to take some of these kind of risks. Just my view. Okay. You're right. Black Diamond Rose said, why wouldn't Porsha be coming back? Of course she's coming back if no one else does. Absolutely. I say Black Diamond Rose, I agree with you. Say what you want, but that girl, that peach is secure, honey. She's their golden child, okay? So if no one else is coming, she is coming back. And if KMichelle does not drop the ball, KMichelle could be their next golden child. Okay, so we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. JJS says, I'm not a fan of Candy, but in an ensemble cast, her ability to keep up with the Reeds is a yes. Even Kenya, she needs 3 to 5 hours to prepare to pay penances, but even Kenya would do better. Yeah. I do actually also think that even though Porsha is doing well on this show, I think that Porsha needs some OGs. I think that the OGs are so good. They have such good chemistry with each other that they bounce off each other so well. That is something I've always noticed. I feel like they would keep Porsha on her toes. She would be out here working. Okay. And so I definitely think that the OGs will bring even more out of Porsha personally. I don't think the new cast are interesting enough to pull it out of her. Like the likes of Kelly, the likes of Shamea, Pinky. I don't think they're doing enough to pull it out of her personally. But you guys, let me know if you agree or disagree. Okay, let's see. If Nini comes back, I hope she's more humble than before. She has to be. If she's not humble, she's going back to when she came out from, okay? On a more serious note, I definitely hope that she is, because I feel like she definitely was starting to put a bad taste in a lot of the folks' mouth towards the end. And I hope that she shows up. I hope that she shows up properly this time around. I hope that she shows up properly this time around. Do you guys want Kelly to come back? Oh, let me see. I heard Cynthia is coming back full time and she does cower down around Nene. Exactly. Another person that sees what I see. I agree. I definitely think she cowers down every single time. It's like, girl, speak up. What is going on? I think part of it is probably, some residual love and feelings for Nene. But it's like, girl, please, if your friend ain't got those residual feelings for you, you best rip those feelings apart, honey, and get to work. She's now a co-worker. Okay. But yeah, Cynthia is coming back full time. She definitely deserves to come back full time. She shouldn't be getting a part-time check. If she's not really ready to pull her weight, she has to show up and show out, babes. Okay. Let's see. Diane says, I thought everyone loved Kelly because she speaks up to Porsha. Why isn't anyone mentioning Kelly? Kelly said she's the standard, honey. I don't know if you guys watched that. If you guys watched that video, Kelly said she had the audacity to say out of her mouth that she is the standard. She is the standard, y'all. You cannot make it up, right? Like, this is the standard, y'all. Let me get y'all the standard. Hold on. This is your standard. This is the standard, though. This is the standard, okay? So she said she's the standard. And so yeah, I personally, I could do without her on the show. I'm not voting for her to come back. I'm not voting for Shamea to come back either, because I feel like Shamea needs to focus on her mental health. The show is clearly not good for her, and she has a lot of work to do. So she needs to not be on the show. But then I feel like Shamea wants the fame too much. Unless Bravo tells her not to come back, I feel like Shamea will still come back. Unless they decide not to give her a contract, Shamea will find a way to come back, in my opinion. And Watson said if they bring Nene back, she'll probably be able to pull it out of Porsha. Exactly. And I do agree that like some of the OGs, they know how to like pull it out of each other. It's like they had such a great synergy that they knew how to bring each other to work, honey. They knew how to get everyone to clock in at work every single time. And so I think the new girls are too busy trying to create moments, and it's not landing. right? It's the same thing with Angela and this whole George thing. Like, I just don't think that a lot of the newbies now, of course, Angela is a newbie that has to stay. Let's be for real. Angela can read down. Angela can like go toe to toe with the likes of, you know, the OGs, right? And so I definitely think she needs to stay on the show. Black Diamond Rose said, y'all, Nene is not coming back on the show, not as long as Andy is apart. Yeah. To be fair, Andy kind of low-key said that, right? Like, yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I would not be surprised because if anything, I'll be surprised if Nene actually ends up coming on the show. I would absolutely be bamboozled if Nene shows up on the show. Guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. Thanks to everyone that has come up. And thanks for all the super chats and the gifts. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate you guys that go the extra mile to support the channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who has left a comment. Your feedback is very important and it carries the conversation. You know, you and I are talking and I'm loving it. So thanks. I thought it was just going to be a quick one. I'll give you all a quick 30 minutes of my time. And now I'm here 2 hours later and I'm having fun. Okay. So thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation. All right. So if Nene comes back, the first thing she needs to address is why she sabotaged herself by opening her legs to a married man. LOL, I love Nene Joe. She's the queen, but girl, Nani messed you up. Exactly, she did. And it's so funny because no one brings that up. It's funny you bring that up. No one brings that up, but everyone reminds us every opportunity that Porsha cannot keep her legs closed to married men, all that kind of stuff. It's like, girl, the queen of close your legs to married men. Okay. Did not do that when it came to Nani. And what on the street is Nani don't be like putting out like that financially, allegedly. Word on the street. We don't know if it's true or not. Okay, just putting that out there. Okay, Kelly and her $70,000 teeth can go. Okay, don't let the door hit you on your way out, please, madam. Girl, I love how Porsha commented standard under Cynthia's picture. Of course, you all know those girls be shading each other. I love it. Even like, I think it was Erica Mena that was commenting on Porsha's page talking about like standard. Let me see if I can find you all this. When I say the Atlanta girls are messy, including the ones that are not even on the show, honey, the ones that are not on the show are still part of the mess. The ones that are not on the show are still part of the mess. Let me see if I can find the comment. Let's see. Let me see if I can find the comments. What comment was it? I literally saw the person talking about, oh, look at Cardi B in the chat. Are you serious? OMG, Lord God. So perfect head to toe. Just wow. Okay. See, yelling it out loud. Standard. Okay. Look at Sway as well. Sway said the standard. Yes, Queen P, you do it so effortlessly. Okay. So the people are like, yeah, nah, Kelly ain't no standard over here. B, Porsha is the standard. Do you hear me? I love how the people in Porsha's life, whatever it is, and I think this is part of what some of the girls hate, is like, right, wrong, or indifference, the people in her life, like Lauren, whoever it is, are always out here riding for her, honey. Riding. Kelly is Shamea's backbone. She speaks up when Shamea can't find the words. Not when Shamea can't find the words, Cindy. That is funny to me, but yeah. I always forget about Kelly, girl. She said she's the standard, honey. So how dare you forget? How dare you forget? That is so funny to me. But yeah, to be honest, I guess you have to be a little bit delusional in your own life, right? You have to really believe that you are the it girl. You are the end and be all, okay? So I guess that's where that is for her. Hit that like button, y'all. If you haven't, thanks to Joes who have just joined. Thank you so much. We've been having a good old time. So just smash that like button, join the conversation, vote in the chat. And yeah, let's go. Kelly is coming like Captain Flint sitting on Shemesy's shoulder. Okay. And that's why I think both need to get out. Both need to get out and take their friendship off the show. Please and thank you. Go buy Shamea, go be a rich wife. Yes, ma'am. Please go. I do not want the drama. Just go, please. Thank you. Zezada said, Porsha is the standard, Kenya is the standard, Milo is the standard, Cynthia is the standard, Phaedra is the standard, Sheree is the standard. Okay. So, yeah, y'all heard that from the horse's mouth. Standard, standard, standard all across the board, honey. Okay. They wouldn't have a storyline next season if Shamea doesn't come back. They need to be hiring Kenya back. So I personally think that they will find a way to have a storyline. These people, let's be honest, their friendships, they will turn on each other for a check. So like, I won't be surprised if there would still be conflict between. Remember, KMichelle is a wild card. So is Pinky. So those two would be enough to stir it up. Trust me. They don't need Shamea back. Those two would be enough to stir it up. Especially that KMichelle. Especially if she knows that, yo, my peach is on the line. KMichelle will do whatever it takes to secure that peach. So just saying. And Watson thinks Shamea will buy a contract. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You all are not right. Like,
hold on.
Shamea is probably there like, how? How did I get it? Captain Flint, you know. People change with time, especially when it comes to that coin. Don't count Andy out, child. Yeah. Especially if they're giving him a little extra to look the other way whilst Nini comes back. Maybe, possibly. Who knows? Didn't Nini help put Andy in the position he has today? Well, even if she did, I don't really know if she did or not, but even if she did accuse him of being on that cocaine. So I will understand if someone accuses me of being on that cocaine and saying I did all these egregious things and, all these things. Yeah, we are never, ever going to be in the same space together, honey. Never. The door is closed. So just saying. So I get it. I'm not even going to front. I get it. I get it. Just saying. Diane says, if Nini comes on the show, trust it would be brought up about those legs. Oh my gosh. Close your legs to married men. Why didn't you close your legs? Like, that would be hilarious to me. My gosh, that would be hilarious to me. Super says, I would love to have Nini back on my screen. I'm not sitting in judgment of another woman's decisions regarding her relationship because I was raised to keep my focus on saving my own soul. Hallelujah. Super took us to church, honey. Like, focus on that one-on-one relationship with your Lord and Savior. Okay? The producers can find other things to make the show interesting. They need to replace the boring ones with fresh people. Agreed. They need to stop casting people who have vendettas against other people. Like, for instance, if you bring Malo on the show is going to get a bit messy because then Malo has a huge vendetta against Porsha. That's all the season is going to be about. If you bring Claudia Jordan, who clearly hates Porsha, onto the show, you already know what it's going to be, right? And so I feel like they need to be careful with casting people who have vendettas. Just bring people who have naturally fun personalities or, slightly cuckoo for Cocoa Pop personalities like KMichelle, right? And then those people can come up and be amplifiers and stir a shop. But there's no personal relationship where it gets that low. It's usually on the surface. And I think that's why it was fun in those historic seasons, because it wasn't like they knew each other that deeply. It was just like new girls trying to get to know each other. And then, of course, something happens, friction happens, and then we address it, and then we move on, and that's it. Bajin, how dreadful. Standard without fashion. Okay. Yes. Agreed, honey. Agreed. The quintessential millennial says what Kenya did was pure insanity. Sis, I agree with you. I agree with you about what she did was pure insanity. I agree. And I personally, I know people love and want to bring back Kenya, but if I put myself in that in Brit's shoes, I definitely would not want Kenya back at all. Someone that can go that far, and even people were trying to tell you, like, you know, Porsha could see what's going down here, and she was trying to redirect Kenya. But Kenya took it straight to hell. And it's like, a part of me thinks Kenya really wanted them to show her spa, but in doing that, took it way too far. Like, you could have done other things. You didn't have to do something and expose your potential customers to that in your establishment. Even if it wasn't in your establishment, it's also going to be so low. But yeah, she needs intense therapy, not being funny. However, Bravo also needs intense therapy, if you ask me, because they were going to keep her on the show. It was until Brit decided to fight back that they had to remove Kenya off the show. They were going to keep her on the show just by doing that. Sorry, y'all. I have ice in my little bottle, and I'm trying to drink from the bottle. So I feel like Bravo must also need some intense therapy, because they were also going to chill and allow that to keep happening. They were fine with it, okay? They did not care, right? If Brits did not fight back, they would have kept Kenya on that season. It's not even funny, but the fact that Bravo, let's be honest, they only care about their money makers. They care about their bottom line, ultimately. And if they feel like, yo, we're about to get sued out of millions, then they're like, okay, let's remove who is likely to cause the issue, right? However, ultimately, yeah, insanity. ZZS says, Sheree ain't have the fashions, lol, but the girl did dress herself fashionably well. Yeah, she by Sheree. Yeah, nowhere to be found, honey. Not everyone is into business, and I think that's why we all should just agree that, like, sometimes you're not a business person, and that is okay. Okay? Sometimes that's really what it is. You're not a business person, and that is okay. We are not all out here made for business. Sometimes you ain't made for business, you're made for other things, honey. Super says, look at the scenes that Shamea was not in. It was giving old school housewife vibes. Agreed. The scenes that Shamea and Kelly were not in, it was so much fun. The girls were having a good time, shading each other, kikiing, but it was so fun and light. That is what we need to get back to. Kelly spoke as if her life was better than billionaire. Delusion is on a all-time high, honey. All-time high. Black Diamond Rose said, that's why she can't come back. Yeah, I think you're talking about Nene. Yeah, makes sense. Fair enough. Cosmic Queen said, first time here. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you subscribe. Thank you for hanging in the chat and getting engaged as well. Y'all say hi to Cosmic Queen. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Bajan says, mind you, I would like to see what happens between Gerald and Shemesi. If he doesn't get the son he wants so bad. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to think about it, because I'm just like, Gerald, oh my gosh. I don't know, because sometimes I feel like Gerald seems so chill, and Shamea seems to be the one bothered about giving him a son. But I don't know what is happening behind the scenes, because sometimes he could be behind the scenes pressurizing her and we don't see that. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes maybe that's what's happening in the background, but we don't know. And there's no way of us knowing unless we are shown. But we can't see that because he doesn't film with her. And so that makes it very, very tricky. I think they need a married couple on the show. And let's see a little bit of the dynamics in their marriage a little bit. Oh, Shamari was entertaining. Wasn't she the one that Porsha said she doesn't have a drinking problem, but she has a problem drinking? Like, that
that makes me laugh every time I think about it. Like, that lady does not know when to stop with the drinking. But I hear she's like in nursing school now, as she finished. Something last I heard of her, she was in nursing school. So I hope things are going well for her. She was entertaining. You can tell Porsha enjoyed the girl as well. She was a fun girl. We don't want or need an entire season rooted in conflicts. Agreed. We don't. We really don't. Like, let's get back to the fun times. Like, that's one of the reasons why I loved like the A team, like the Porsha, the Drew, the Phaedra, Cynthia, and Angela this season, because they were just having fun. You could tell like they were enjoying each other. They were really tapping into that fun energy, fun OG energy. Yes, were they shading the heck out of each other? Yes, remember the rainbow cake? And then Porsha says, all right, I'm gonna cut you a little piece. Let's eat it together. Like, it was like nice, classy, fun shade. And that's what I think we need more of. And if I have one suggestion for Bravo for this season, my suggestion would be stop putting out the whole bloody episode. Stop putting out the whole bloody episode as sneak peeks. Like, what the hell? Like, I understand. Give us one scene. Let us whet our appetite with the best scene. Okay? And then leave the rest. But this time around, we get like 4 or 5 scenes. Like, why? That does not whet our appetite enough. We almost feel like we've watched the whole show before watching the episode. But anyway. Yikes, that's reckless on their part. Exactly. Diane says, Nene told Andy to do reunions after the season. I remember her saying that, and I just Googled it. We definitely, as fans, love the reunions. Agreed. And I definitely think that in light of everything that happened on socials, I'm just like, I wish that the reunion was filmed after all these things that happened on socials, because it felt like a lot of these girls were still tweeting and stuff. And it's like, girl, all this tweeting that you're doing, I hope you did this at the reunion, because I do not want to hear no nonsense. I hope you covered this at the reunion, please, because I ain't got time for this. But anyway, I think Bravo was wrong. When you say you think Bravo was wrong, what is Bravo wrong about? Because I'm not sure I follow. Diane says, nope, Kenya does not need to come back. Yes, ma'am. Kenya was wrong, but it wasn't nasally Neil on the posters. I agree. But the thing is, if you, like, everyone already thinks it's nasal Nelly, right? Let me just call her Brits. I can't get that name. Everyone thinks it's Brit on the posters. Even if it's correct, you portrayed it as it was Brit. That would have caused her emotional distress to begin with, even if it wasn't her, because she wasn't there to know that. People told her that. So now she's crying. She's having to film scenes where she's talking to her family about it. All of that trauma was as a result of something that wasn't even her. But based on that, she disseminated some sort of explicit image. Let me be honest with you. If I was one of the people that Kenya invited to that event, I would sue Kenya, because when I was leaving my house, this was not what I was trying to see. I would sue her, because what kind of emotional distress are you giving me by letting me see a woman giving someone fellatio? Like, what are we doing? You know? Diane says Nene started this reunion thing. She now regrets it. Yeah, reunion is definitely required, honey. I don't know as well. His culture really prioritizes sons. He's very chill indeed on camera. Exactly. So even if his culture may prioritize sons, I think the fact that he's very chill on camera and we don't see that makes it hard for us to know what Shamea is also going through. If Shamea is really being pressured at home, we don't see that. Right? Which makes it hard for us to like empathize with Shamea when she does her nonsense, right? Because it's like you can't empathize with someone who is always doing some shady-ish and who you all feel like, you know, what the hell is going on, right? And so I just feel like that would be my concern with that a little bit. I feel like I just think like with Shamea, it's very hard to kind of know like what you're getting. You don't know what she's dealing with in private. You just know she really wants a baby. a son. But at the same time, we also know she doesn't want a child because she's, you know, iffy about having a child, but she really wants a son. But we don't know the ins and outs, which makes it hard for us to relate, to empathize with that lady because we don't really know what she's going through with that. Everything that glitters is not gold. Agreed. Nini really did give a lot of development ideas to Bravo for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Watch What Happens Live, but she wasn't protected back then. I think Nini deserves a one-time huge lump sum to hear to her for those ideas back then. I agree, but this is the thing I always say, right? We have to make sure as individuals, let's protect our advice. Let's protect what we're offering people. If you're giving them all these things, get into a contract and say, do you know what? I can see areas where we can develop some things. So let's move into a contract where you pay me this amount of money and let me share some of these ideas with you. Boom. Protect yourself. Have it in writing. Make some money out of it. I'm not about to be like out here giving people such level of feedback and not getting a check cut for that. You will have to run me my money. Right? And so I definitely think that that's where I think she dropped the ball. Definitely a rookie mistake because you must have everything in writing. And this is why, like when Shamea said she spends 6 figures already and there's no contracts, I was like, girl, 6 figures? 6 figures on what? Exactly, with no contract? Like, what are we doing? Please. All right, it's a pity Nini never had it down on paper. Yes, Nini paved the way, but got too big for her own boots. Agreed. Nessie Nelly spoke about a pew-pew. Yes, Kenya was totally wrong, but Bravo must have known. Bravo is too wicked. They could have given Nasal Nelly her marching orders and give Kenya a strict warning. The reason they couldn't have done that is because Kenya did not push back on the pew-pew, right? She didn't. It wasn't until after everything panned out. She didn't push back on the pew-pew. And then she didn't move like somebody. Remember, after that scene, right, to then do what she did. If you are really scared of someone having a pew-pew, you will not do what you did when the person can remove a pew-pew and do what some people do with pew-pews, right? And so it makes it hard for her to prove that that was the cause of the reaction that now happened, right? The other thing is, anything like corn, all of those things, right? She already knows if it goes down to court, it's not looking good. And Bravo would have probably gotten advice from their legal team that this ain't looking good. So that's why they wanted both of them to sit down so they could keep both of them on the show. But when Brit then did a reverse Uno and said, hell nah, I think that's when they thought, okay, this is going left. We need to cut Kenya loose. Now, let's be honest. Bravo have not liked Kenya in a long time. And this is what I say that I feel like people don't remember. They did not like Kenya. When Kenya went over there to marry, what was the name of her husband or whatever she married, whoever she married, did not bring production along, did that behind production's back, did not really want to film certain scenes. That's the thing. Production only likes you when you're also making money for them. If you start to like cut their check or start to make them feel like you're not showing everything and they need you to show, then they replace you. And so I think since then, they have not really rated Kenya. And so this happened and Kenya was about to cost them money. They're like, yo, we need to get and cut ties now. And that's exactly what they did. It's so important to be valued at your job, honey. If you're not valued at your job, anything happens, it's very easy for them to cut you loose. And that's exactly what happened to Kenya. She was never valued at the job, especially more recently after the thing happened with her being married. If you notice the kind of, she was barely even in scenes at some point. It was definitely given that she was being cut out and phased out. So I noticed then. And so if people did not notice then, I'll be surprised. Why didn't Brit or anyone know that wasn't her on the poster? Because it looked similar to her. That's the thing. It looked similar to her. It looks like a younger version of her. But in reality, it wasn't her. And let's be honest. If it's a giant poster of somebody, and someone is out here saying, yeah, look at this girl's mouth, da da da. You ain't about to be staring at the poster to make sure it's her. You just assume that she's saying that this is Brit, then this is Brit. I know I would not be staring at no person with a D in her mouth. Like, I'm not going to be doing all of that. I would probably look away because what the hell? And I think that's probably what happened. Because remember, a lot of the girls didn't even sit down to wait to look at all of that. They had the poster up and the girls started walking out because they were like, no, this ain't it. Like, everyone clearly knew that this was just too far. The reality TV space was new to her, and she probably wasn't too schooled on how to. So Bravo is the partner that knew how to, so they did run out over. Agreed. Definitely agreed. Patrick says, if I remember right, Nazo Nelly wasn't there. I'm sure she said she sent flowers, but you're right. How did no one know that it wasn't her? Yeah, I definitely think it was like, nobody's really like staring at a woman with a Z in her mouth, right? ZZZ said, Kenya actually committed an element of revenge corn, even if it wasn't Kelly. No woman likes that. Agreed. Yes, Bravo hasn't liked her. She has a dark spirit from way back. That marriage to Mark, that was a contract with Mark. Well, it was definitely certainly giving that. And I definitely remember that thinking, well, production definitely don't like you right now. You can tell. You can tell when they don't like you, honey. It's not that hard to see. Even Ray Charles can see it, honey. It is clear when they do not like you. And Watson says, I hope next season they show some family time. Exactly. I hope so too. I need some storylines. Give us something else. And that's probably another reason why, they're probably thinking like, your husband can't film Shamea, right? And the whole season you gave us nothing. And then towards the end of the season, you gave us the Scotland thing, right? And that completely divided the group in half. They don't want a divided group. If they have a divided group, it's hard for them to film because production will now have to be filming separate groups. They don't want to have to do that. Super says Kenya was causing a lot of problems with production during the filming of 16. And then she sat down with production, with Carlos and Dodge production out. Exactly, right? So I feel like Kenya thought she was way too big for the program. And that's just what that was. Kenya didn't even get reprimanded when she provoked Porsha with the bullhorn and the wand. Exactly, right? She didn't, because ultimately what people would always see is your reaction. They never see what got you there, which is why as a unit, as people, we have to be careful and in charge of our emotions and as much as possible, because when it comes down to it, honey, you will be responsible for that reaction. Okay, I am getting tired, y'all. So we are going to round up very, very soon. We're going to round up just around that 3-hour mark, everyone. So if you have any final feedback, now is the time. Put it in the chat so that I can read them and I can run out. I think I'm going to go. I'm just like, I need some home cooked meal, honey. So I think I'm going to go over to my mom and get some food. go eat lunch over there at her house before coming back to chill and get ready for the week. So yeah. Remember when Kenya brandished that pew pew in her closet to Branding and told him it was for Phaedra? Yes, ma'am, I remember it. And nothing was said about it. I just think like Bravo really does not care. Unless anybody threatens to go to legal, that's when Bravo will now step in. But outside of that, Bravo do not give a damn. They don't. Black Diamond Rose says, production allowed it. If I was Brit, I would have looked. Yeah, to be honest, production, remember, Brit wasn't even there. It was them Kelly that had to tell Brit, right? So Brit wasn't even there. And I agree, production allowed it. Production are just as messy, let's be honest. Production are just as messy, so is Bravo, because if they weren't messy, they would have completely cut it out of their season, but they knew they really didn't have content, so they kept it in regardless, right? And that is the thing. This is why I feel like ultimately these people care about their bottom line, which is money. They do not care about anyone else. All they care about is the money, right? And so for them, they were fine with it all. They wanted Brit to sit down with Kenya after it all, right? When she refused to do that and then threatened legal action is when they finally start taking it seriously. And so that means, bottom line, they really do not give a damn. There is no limit for these people. However, if the public, if there's a huge outcry for something, and then there's potential legal repercussions that can cost them money and affect their bottom line, that is all they care about. 3 hours. Enjoy your Sunday. Thank you so much. I know, like, I thought I was coming here for 30 minutes, y'all. I thought, like, surely there's not much to say. It's just a trailer. That is all I'm going to be talking about. So I was like, maybe 30 minutes max. I'm done. And then I'm going to go watch movies and chill for the rest of the day, girl. Y'all had other plans, and I'm loving y'all for it, because I have had such a good day. I feel like this is probably the most interaction I've had this weekend, because it's been a pretty chill weekend. So I thank you for, like, really engaging, y'all. Thank you. Best food is mommy's food. Agreed, honey. She makes such really good, like, really, really good food. So I cannot wait. When she called me today and she was like, do you want to come and eat? I was like, yeah, of course. And this is me saying earlier before she called me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in bed today. I'm not going to do anything. All I'll do is, I will come on live at 3 p.m., talk to you guys, and then I will rest for the rest of the day and watch random Korean drama or, like, Netflix, right? Also, y'all, I'm learning Spanish, right? So I was like, okay, maybe that, or watch, like, some random, like, Spanish shows, right? And when I tell you, I decided, like, as soon as she called me and talked about the food, I said, yeah, I will be there. Okay, maybe not right now, but I will be there today. So see you soon. But anyway, production knew it was revenge porn. Yes, they knew it. They did not care. Like, ultimately, all they care about is money. Very sad place to be, but all they genuinely care about is money. Bajan says, like, Real Housewives of Potomac, didn't Candace say she told production straight no? I think it was with Giselle. Exactly. They really don't care. Ultimately, all they care about is if they think they can make money out of it and they're not going to get sued, then they will do it. No matter what. And even the whole point of getting sued, it must have been like, I think Bray had a really good lawyer as well, and they probably thought, okay, let's just avoid getting sued. And then they still ended up getting sued. So, plot twist. Now, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to call it a day. Thank you so much for your engagement. Korean dramas are fire. Yes, girl. Bajan, the other day, this is so funny. I was there minding my business. I saw this random Korean drama page. So I look at it, I'm watching the clip, and then guess who I saw liked it? You. I was like, Bajan likes this? I'm like, yeah, Bajan be loving these Korean dramas too. Okay? So yeah, I saw that you liked it. So yeah, I definitely, I can tell you like the Korean dramas too. But yeah, girl, if you guys, for those who are in the chat that don't know about the Korean drama, you all go watch it. Korean dramas be fire. Okay. But yeah, everyone have a good Sunday. Thank you so much, Black Diamond Rose. Thank you, everyone. I want to give another shout out to my super chatters and my gift givers. Thank you so much. On this good Sunday, thank you for going the extra mile. So shout out to Super 3701, the quintessential millennial, Diane Wright, and Bajan B. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic Sunday and a great start to the week. And I'll speak to you guys later. Bye, everyone. Bye.